You know, that's
I don't care.
that is
Well,
It
technically, a
works either way.
monster that Lydia had wouldn't result in inebriation.
No,
So,
it just makes her hyper in hell.
yeah, yeah.
okay, two people inebriated, one buzzed, and me and Shig left out in the cold.
Well, Michael, you can't say much considering you don't drink.
Not really,
Well,
no.
in that case, Michael and I are the designated drivers.
Nor that's
Sweet.
my job, but sure.
More pretzels and hot wings and mozzarella
Free,
sticks for us.
and free milkshakes.
Ooh, those mozzarella sticks sound good. I'll take an order of
Okay,
Hey,
those
good
as
free
deal.
well.
free milkshakes and sodas. That's good for us.
I'm good for that. So, if everyone is present, they are. If everyone's ready, maybe, then let us continue.
Somewhat.
Almost. Almost as in I am ready.
Although I feel like that's probably what the party's going through. Sam, yeah. Ash, present. Estella, here.
7. Well,
Just like a roll call, like everybody's still alive. Yeah. Are we dead?
Hey, I
No.
ain't 7. My name is Inkstira.
Dog.
Here, boy. I mean, girl. Girl. Yeah, girl. So, let us begin then. If the button has already been pushed to record this
Oh, it's
craziness,
been going.
we will pick up where we left off with the party being surrounded by
This
giant
shit's been
blood-sucking
rolling.
toad things with wings, with hairy people riding them, obviously werewolves. And the lead werewolf proceeding up to the group. So, baddies' turns. They finished up. Lawrence's turn, getting out prone and staying up on his knees and reaching around on the ground to find his wand and gonna get the seat cushion off him so he can then get the wand next round. Looking over at Ash like he's still alive.
yeah.
Oh, hopefully we didn't land on anyone.
I didn't. I hope if they did, it probably wouldn't even be able to scream.
You're probably right.
I'm gonna roll a listen check just for that, Michael. Do I hear them?
Yep. Apparently you hear talking inside, muttering something about being alive and talking about hopefully we didn't squish someone.
Oh, don't
I
forget the
yell
stick.
inward. No, you didn't land on anybody, though it came close.
Too
Thanks, Sam.
close.
Okay, as he stands himself up and
Wagon's
takes.
upside down if you remember. The door's still, well, it's mostly closed, not really locked because it's just kind of like halfway bent off the hinges, kind of just flapping a little bit from the motion of being flipped several times, like how a car would.
Yeah.
Yeah, he stands himself. He gets himself up, kicks the door open, and gets out.
You go to kick it, it kind of pops back and then falls off.
And then you throw up.
And you come stumbling out with your step as you are now right where you are on the map, next to Sam.
Yeah, so
Looking to your north on the map, you see two of the horses laying down, making noises. The other two, they aren't moving, and you're pretty sure that head should not be facing towards you when when the legs are facing the other direction.
oh god,
Yeah, two of those look very dead with all the blood and
I
how
mean,
their body is contorted.
we could eat them later, but still.
yeah.
Uh, Pete doesn't look so good. Looks like he's under a horse and he's not moving or nothing. Not sure if he's alive. You
Ash is
don't see Danielle, and oh, there's
yeah,
Seven over there.
Ash just asked 7, is Pete okay or is he gone?
I heard a yelp when he landed, so probably still alive.
Oh, thank goodness. Those 4 horses, though.
We got bigger problems. Literally.
Yeah, he could.
As
Yeah,
you start to look around into the moonlight and cloud cover, and as the cloud moves away from the moon and the light shines down on three of the large toads right there, and hairy creatures crouched over, making, well, wolf sounds as they're like growling and leaning down, ready to pretty much pounce Anixtria, it looks like.
Well, I'm gonna do a history check because I actually might have heard about these creatures.
Michael, I'm going to put my dancing lights back on the map considering the duration. I think I still had about 5 rounds left.
The one thing that would have made sense, and I rolled a fucking.
It happens. At least you're getting the bad rolls out on this and not an attack roll you need.
True.
Yeah.
Maybe like
On my
these
turn,
things
I'll
that-
roll for these things. Oh, wait, I already rolled for the big things. I'll have to roll for the
I
other
just
guys.
makes a face like I think I heard of these things. I could be
You're
wrong.
probably way too disoriented from the multiple
Yeah.
flips of the cart to think straight.
Whee! Roller coaster! Bad roller coaster! Bad roller coaster!
Yeah, so Ash is back on his feet. He hasn't drawn a weapon yet because he'll be able to do it so next turn. So that's the end of his turn. Just getting up, bending out, talking, and that's
All right. And you heard Ash come out and talking to Sam. Cart almost crushed you. And what do you do, Danielle?
I'm gonna flip off the entire cart on the way and try to push the horse off of Pete.
Make me a strength check. Flip that horse.
Nope.
Trying to lift it or flip it off him doesn't really work. You can lift it up a little bit, but he doesn't seem to be crawling out.
Hi.
You're gonna probably have to spend next round actually pushing it off him, or someone coming to grab and drag his butt out.
Mm-hmm. Someone grab his tiny ass.
And Pete will no longer be stunned at the end of his turn. At which point you see him like starting to squirm a little bit, start to move. Apparently he's not dead. That's a plus.
very back quickly.
And we have Anixtria.
Anixia, I'm going to roll this, Michael, because she doesn't want to be anywhere near anything right now. So, where's my tumble? Okay, so
I think you're good.
my fat ass is tumbling straight onto the horse and landing on it.
With Danielle trying to lift up the front half of it, and then you just plop down on top. Hey, someone pull Pete out. He's still alive.
So much for what I had planned on doing. Oh well. Well, I hadn't planned on doing it. It was an option. I was going to throw the horse at somebody.
So you do cute little doggy rolls and flips and land on top of the still alive horse that's barely squirming because it's basically setting like at 0. So any sudden actions and it's just gonna pass out.
Why can't I have nice things? Is this why?
Pretty
This
much.
is one of the reasons why, yes.
So all good for Doggo.
Yep, you just gotta stay there now.
Sam's turn. Moving the light.
I will,
Okay.
first of all, free action, move to light
Probably just select it, copy,
to there.
and paste, delete, yeah, or drag if it lets you. Nice.
I drew it, so yes, it lets me. And then I will move to
Yay.
there.
Which sheds nice bit of light in the surrounding area.
Yep. Moved there, draw a sword, and total defensive.
You got the wagon messed up. You got the horse that's laying down.
Wait,
there you
you
are.
get
Face
total
upstairs.
defense after you move?
Standard action.
I thought it was a full round action.
It's always been a standard action.
Are you okay, Michael? Can I please take back and say that I total defense as well after I landed on the horse?
Let's see. I'm just pulling it up to see if that's what you do and if it's fine. Just make 100% sure. Because that should be an option. So one
Because
sec.
I thought it was a full round action.
I know withdrawal's double.
Withdraw
I know
is
fighting
full.
defensively is part of a full run action, which gives you a -4 on attacks, +2 to dodge, unless you have modifiers. So total defense, you can defend yourself as a standard action. You get a +4 dodge bonus to AC for 1 round. Your AC improves at the start of this action, so it helps against attacks of opportunity. You can't combine total defense with fighting defensively, obviously. or with the benefits of combat expertise feat. You can't make attacks of op if you're total defense though, so slight downside.
Yeah.
So no attacks of op, but does give you quite a bit bonus.
4 dodge bonus to AC. That means a lot.
Yeah.
So you guys are circling the wagon.
More of I don't want big boss home dude to kind of slaughter people while they're trying to get out of the fucking wagon. My good nature tells me I can't just fucking abandon them.
This is when you find out he's a sorcerer. He goes, "Oh, thanks for grouping up, Fireball."
Yeah, that would suck.
Then he just turns and walks away.
Fucking asshole. Well, there's the end of this adventure.
At which point Sam comes charging out of the smoke and cleaves him in half. Should have made sure I was dead.
That's an armor bonus. That's a total defense. Okay, I was hard on the wrong bonus. I'm a fucking idiot.
All
What else is
good.
new?
Which actually you get a
Just
higher
kidding.
bonus because you have the drinks and tumble. So it jumps up to like a 5 or a 6, if I recall.
It's 6, so I have a 26 AC at this point.
That's hard to hit. Stupid acrobatic dog. Alright, so critters will. The toadies will basically just sort of crouch down, and the werewolves will hop off the animals and proceed slowly on all four, sort of growling. As will the other one and the last one, making sure to kind of encircle you to give you nowhere to really.
Just one day. One
That's-
day.
Let's see. We're surrounded. That just means we can attack every direction. Not have to worry about hitting allies.
No. I don't want to. No.
Everybody,
Can I
burning
please-
hands.
Refund? Can I get a refund, please?
What?
Sorry, once you pay for this wagon rental, it's non-refundable.
Damn it.
Should have read the contract.
Damn
Also,
it.
it's a
Oh.
stolen wagon. How are you going to get a refund?
That's right. We didn't pay for shit.
This carriage is stolen. Well, Lawrence paid for it, but now it's stolen.
Well, with the,
Oh yeah, and your Uber driver's totally dead. Remember, bees.
Yeah, he is dead.
and well, and about contracts, we learned not to trust contracts anymore. So
That's why you had Lawrence rent the vehicle under his name.
It's all in his name.
And you just left the body, so now it's Grand Theft Carriage.
Carriage. Oh, right, because automobiles aren't going to be made for like 200 more years.
A lot longer than that, but yeah, sure.
Oh.
300 years.
maybe Ash's time we have automobiles.
Shut up, Ash.
I was gonna say we have constructs that pull shit later on.
Yeah, we also have trains.
Mm-hmm.
Lightning
And
rails,
you have
yeah.
sleds that can run across solid dirt as if it was a wagon with no driver required, and you just got to hold kind of a steering wheel to navigate. So automobile-ish, if it was made of wood and didn't require any power source to run it. Hey, it's a hybrid or an all-green car. Take that, nature. So the guy will proceed forward 10, 15 feet, and we'll stand there and point at Sam, since you're right there looking at him most likely.
Oh yeah, I'm watching him.
And he will call out in Elven, spouting forth some gibberish aloud at you all.
Do I know Elven?
Pretty
I
sure I
know
know
Elven.
Elven as well.
I
I
know
don't know
Elven.
Elven.
Yep,
You
I
could
know
say what
Elven.
it-
What does he
I-
say?
For those of you who don't understand Elven, it's just beautiful gibberish. For those of you who understand Elven, I won't bore you with the subtitles. I'll simply just read it aloud.
Oh,
He basically demands that all humans put down their weapons immediately or you will be killed. He demands that all elves and half-breeds be released and that they proceed accordingly in his direction, as you are now to be saved.
Well,
And then
Sam,
you have 6 seconds to comply, or you will be torn to shreds, he states.
Sam
well,
looks a little confused and replies with, there are no elves or half elves with this group.
there are no. Well, can't say that either.
She'll say that in Elven.
A little surprised, you respond back in Elven, like he didn't expect a human to speak it. And he'll just look over at his guys to his left and right and go, "This makes things easier then." And then he'll say some random words, which, if anyone speaks Druidic, will understand.
Oh God!
Sad
The
Oh
dog.
fucking Christ!
So,
Which is, we don't have to worry about rescuing anyone, guys. At which point, they all seem to get a little bit more vicious. You can roll a sense motive to pick up on the situation if you want. 7's probably a little bit more like, "Don't worry, there's no elves here." At which point he's like, "Oh, well, that makes things easier. We can kill them."
Wait.
I was hoping they would just leave.
I just.
Oh my God! Hold the fuck up!
that's the
Hold
wrong-
the fuck up!
Michael, does that
Hold the
sense motive
fuck
figure
up.
it out?
That sense motive, you basically see them start to bare their fangs, and you feel like you just said something you weren't supposed to. As doesn't seem like they're backing down. In fact, they're looks like they're proceeding forward,
Michael,
opposite of what you were hoping for.
do have to say this. Inxira is going to swift action out of dog form and then start speaking to this guy in Druidic.
So,
Everything
What
you've heard.
form are you shifting into on your turn to be able to do that? Which we'll have to wait
Inxira.
for when you get there.
Right,
In the
right,
meantime,
right.
anyone with a sense motive of 10 or higher picked up on the fact that after Sam basically spoke to this individual with replying to whatever he said, apparently Sam felt pretty good about it, and then all of a sudden they seem to be more pissed off now. Not angry at what she said, but almost like they don't care now, and they're coming your way.
So I will have to point this out. The best part about this outfit, the best part about the getup that I've chosen for this character, I have a veil. If I
And?
get, all I have
The
to do
changelings
is
are going to fake to be elves and walk out.
all I literally have to do is
Oh.
make it half
Peace.
pointed.
I was gonna say the other thing Sam was thinking about mentioning is the fact of, and there's only one human here anyway. She points at the wagon.
Well, the problem is you can't really now pretend to be elves because guess
I
what?
never said I was
You
gonna pretend to be an
declared
elf.
There was no elves or half elves here,
She didn't
and you'd
know.
have to understand Elven to know to switch to that type of form.
I
since you don't-
understand, Elvin.
Everybody in the party has Elven.
Except me. I
Except
have Valkyr,
Ash.
unfortunately.
Yes.
He only has Valkyr.
Ash is the only one who doesn't have Elven.
He understands the demonic language that nobody else knows, but that's it.
That doesn't
Yeah,
do you any
speak
good.
Crazy words.
Uh,
So Lawrence's turn. He will get up, and he's gonna take his wand in hand, and then he's gonna get his butt out of that wagon.
and
Once I see him get out of the wagon, I will ask him, "Do you speak Elven?"
He responds in Elven, "Yes."
Oh, joy.
Oh, goody goody gumdrop.
shift.
And Ash's turn. The werewolves are proceeding forward. Whatever Sam said. Well, yeah, you're not sure, but doesn't look good, and you got a bad feeling about it. Although I don't really see a sense motive roll from you, so you don't have a
So I
clue
think-
of what's going on. Or
Yeah,
they're
because
just
I don't.
proceeding.
I was going to, but my sense motive is shit. So let's.
Dude,
see.
I have
So
a
in other
minus
words,
one.
Don't really have. You're not really bothering. They're just coming towards you.
Okay, 13.
After what it said, and then what after Sam said, they seem to be proceeding. So apparently that conversation did not go well.
Okay, Ash.
Act accordingly.
Ash knows that Sam is a big girl and she can handle herself, so she's gonna help Daniela out. Over here.
Daniela always wanted to meet Shield.
over here, draw my
I was
sword.
That is
always-
accurate as well, Michael.
Thank you.
He'll go
Oh
over
my
here.
God.
Let's face it. Sam can handle herself. Can Daniela?
You say that Sam has the least HP of everyone in the party.
I have
It's
probably
not how
the
much
most
HP you have; it's how you use it.
use it. Yeah.
And
Draws her
I'm the
sword
main
out,
tank usually.
and then
I'm also
And-
RPing as your boss.
and then total defense. We're also trying to protect you in the back. We know you could do things by yourself, but Daniela can't.
All right.
Yes,
Speaking
you
of which,
can.
so you walked up, standard action, total defense. Did you bring your weapon out? Did you draw
Yes,
your
I-
weapon as you walked? What did you
Yeah,
do?
I drew my long sword out.
So you
as I
pulled,
pulled
you unsheathed the actual physical one.
Yes.
Smart move, because
Okay.
we're inside of town.
Side of town. Well, we're
Well,
close.
it's 9 minutes away. You're in darkness, so they don't even see you or know where you are. They
But
probably
his
just see, like,
glowy
a
gold
life off in the
sword-
distance.
That glowy gold sword of his, though.
Yeah, that's overshadowed by the fact of the dancing light off in the distance. We're like, oh, that looks like torchlight outside
Oh,
town.
that's
If the guard
true.
happens to pay attention off in the
Oh.
distance.
If he does.
Well, if he loses the sword, he could just create the new one and just go to town.
If he loses the sword, I want it back.
So,
Piece of shit's
meanwhile,
expensive.
next up, Daniela.
And love the changeling aspects. Yeah, I'm gonna shift the ears a little bit to half elf. Uh, and and that's about it. Well,
That's
wait.
pretty much like your standard or full round to shift form.
Don't forget total defense if you want to, Daniela.
Won't be able to as a standard action because
Yeah, no,
it
yeah,
takes either a standard or full round.
yeah,
shift.
yeah. Like the only thing that's changing is her ears. It's just like whoa, wait a second. And Elvin, we can give you some of our stuff, but please don't kill us. She'll put her veil back to reveal the half elf ears.
Let's see if they can spot that at this distance. Thankfully, there is some illumination to help with that. Otherwise, be like, "Look, I took my veil off. That's great. You're a female in the dark. That totally helps." And they're only able to tell that because of your voice. No, it's like, "Oh, look, there's light. Okay, that really helps." So basic D20 roll, 13 plus. Kind of looks at you, look kind of human. You sound like a female, kind of look like a female. Okay. Take our stuff, not our life.
Tempting.
He's just kind of staring. Like, interesting. Next up, Pete. Strength check to get out from crushing horse. Wiggle, 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 crawl. And move action, stand up.
I was gonna say, I hope he has at least a +1.
And he doesn't look too good. Pretty beat up. Next up is Nixtria. Okay, now you can do what you want to do. Nix.
I kind of forget what I was gonna do. Fuck.
Swift action,
Shift
different
form, other
form,
stuff,
and
what
druidic.
Sam did.
Right. I'm going to be a dumbass, and I'm going. This is the big guy, yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
Okay, I'm going to go right there then.
Oh shit.
He's the werewolf with the armor on and weapons at his side. The rest of them
And
are just
then
werewolves.
I'm going to swift action into Inxira. As a move action. This is
The most
swift action.
towering elf.
And
we've
my
ever-
standard action is going to be to remove my headband to show my elven ears.
Oh my god!
Good thing Lawrence is on the other side of the wagon.
And good thing Lawrence is not.
Oh
looking
shit,
at it.
Pete's not.
Oh shit, dog.
Pete can die. He's just a butler.
That's like a 13 spot. And ears look longer than he would have expected. He's a little puzzled, but he's more like wiping the blood off his head, taking deep breaths because he may have a punctured lung, and staring down a bunch of large humanoid wolves that are probably going to gut him. So he may address the were your ears always that long later.
See, at that point, Inxira is going to say in Druidic, listen, me and my party are undercover right now. The last thing you need is to kill people trying to help you.
Bluff check?
Roll that beautiful bluff check,
Come on,
please.
come on, come on.
Come on.
Come on,
Because we're
come on.
not really related to any activities that you know of that they're doing.
Because we don't know what they're doing.
Although he rolled an effing 2, even with some penalties on your part, it's like, do we have people in this area?
Wait, this is a spy? I didn't know we had a spy, did we?
Well, she could shapeshift from a dog into a person, and she speaks the tongue. She is an elf. He
And the
seems to
human does
be
not look a bit surprised by any of this.
just standing there staring down Anixria, as if he's pondering what to do. Sam's turn.
Looking between an Ixria and the other. And I'm going to continue to hold defense and just wait. I'm
So,
watching
while-
him because not surprised at what she did. Well, not really, but
So a druid is an aberrant's best friend.
you're not wrong.
1, 2. Maybe skip a few.
And his turn, he will take a 5-foot step up slowly and cautiously, get closer and sort of examine your face.
Hey,
Look at-
Ash.
Look at your body,
Yeah.
a little puzzled, almost kind of a little bit disgusted.
I'm gonna leave you in charge of trying to remove the thing from Pete.
And
Why
then
would you do that at this point?
Yeah.
he'll respond, "You don't dress like us," in Druidic.
Inxira is going to simply state,
Why do you have to be smart?
undercover.
It's not safe now. You'll need to come back to camp then with us. Have your individuals follow. If you're using anyone, get rid of them. I'll wait for you.
Oh, shit.
Oh God.
At which point he'll just turn and put a hand on her shoulder, and then he'll turn and walk away, and has his back turned and just basically holds up his hand, and all the other ones just sort of stop growling but keep staring at you all.
Oh my god.
Oh,
At which
this
point
is-
Lawrence will come walking over Danielle. I don't feel so good. What's going on? Do I need my big stick or my small stick to deal with this?
Danielle is just kind of
Danielle doesn't understand what was being said either, so she doesn't know.
she doesn't understand what was being said, but she has her veil removed right now. She just kind
Oh.
of pats him on the shoulders, like, I have no idea. Do what you think is wise.
You have your ears out,
Yup.
Daniela, you idiot.
Since he took a good tumble in the cart, he's more concerned of he's talking to you, but your help, so he's looking right past you at the critters.
Yeah, no, she just pats him on the shoulder and
Hang on.
is just trying to remove the horse.
He will reach for a wand and pull one out and just sort of have it point in their direction to where ready action, they do anything, he's going to let it fly.
She,
Hopefully, doesn't frag Estella with it.
yeah, no. Estella is gonna go over there. Just,
Well, if they come charging or moving, he's basically dropping like a fireball in the largest group.
yeah,
Which
I
will
can
just come
make
through
that.
that and maul him, but
But yeah, no, she's just. It's
Ash's turn.
It's fine. It's fine.
You say that,
He looks
but
like crap. Daniela doesn't look injured, but seems to have her attention elsewhere. Lawrence is kind of behind you, but a little shooken up from that tumble. As are you, but yeah. So, what are you doing, Ash?
It's fine.
Shig.
I think he
Shigeri.
AFK'd. So what are you going to do, Daniela?
He got lynched by peoples.
Uh, Danielle is just gonna kind of ever so slightly
Move
walk
out the
over
way.
here, move out the way, do whatever you think is wise and all that stuff. Fun jazz. It's just like, Inixra, she'll say in Elven.
At which point Lawrence will just look at you. Where do you think you... Oh, right. Nixria, go protect my lady.
God, this motherfucker's so goddamn dense.
All you're gonna
My
hear as Danielle
God.
comes over next to Inxira is, "You fucking idiot!
Yeah, I know.
No, you!
Me?
Yes, you!"
You do realize that we can wind up killing him, right? I can imagine this going back and forth in Aquan.
Yeah, Ash goes over to Pete, even though he called out. He walks over, reaches a sword, and just tries helping the poor guy out.
But I'm trying to aid in leverage here, because if you
So,
notice,
move action, move over to him, and then move action, sheath sword, and dealing with Pete.
Yeah, they're gonna help him out back up.
Oh, he's
Uh-huh.
standing.
Hand on his shoulder, and just kind of got a hand on him. He managed to crawl his way out and stand up to his feet, although he's kind of just looks
A
like he
little
went a couple
shaken.
rounds in a boxing match as he's stumbling around.
And not on the winning side of said match.
Or I could just drop the sword and help him up.
He's standing, just not too well on his feet. It wouldn't take much to put him back down. But he's on his feet, just not very well as he's taking a beating. But you're able to walk over to him and kind of just put a hand on him to stabilize him and kind of orient him of what the hell's going on. Anything else?
That's about it. Other than just talking like, hang on, you're fine, you're alive, we'll be fine.
Sounds like someone else.
Yeah, he does.
So Danielle then goes and moves over there. Lawrence says, watch out for Nixia. Yeah, sure. And then two of them get into a little bit of a discussion in a different tongue. As you were, ladies.
And silence.
Oh, I was just Inxira's just pissed at the moment because everyone moved away from Lawrence.
Ash is still there.
No, he's not. He's over with Pete.
Oh, I know what you were gonna do.
Now
That's
I have to
exactly
go
what I
after
thought you were
Pete.
gonna do. Well, Sam still doesn't know what's going on. You might tell Sam something or t'other.
You know what? Yeah, you're right.
Because Sam's still looking around watching people.
Inxira is going to go
And
try to whisper over to Sam, hey, go
hey, you
stand
still have a specific language you can use.
All right, Emiskari.
Mm-hmm.
Vulcan, Inxira's going to state to Sam, go stand behind Lawrence for me.
Looking slightly
Under
confused,
the
but
tree.
Danielle's
okay.
done. Pete reaches for his weapon, draws, and also reaches for a potion to pull out. That'll be his turn.
Is the Nixra going to
Thanks,
delay till
Ash.
after Sam, I'm guessing?
Delaying till after Sam.
Alright, Sam's going to go other side of him?
Under the tree.
Okay.
So,
I will
In all
move as
honesty-
directed to move over to there and weapon ready, watching around and keeping an eye on Lawrence because for some reason 7 is prioritizing the fact of Lawrence might be a problem.
in all
So I
honesty,
don't know what's going on, but I'm going to stand guard against all threats that aren't my team. And Lawrence has definitely been on the possibility of a threat list for a while. Because I don't trust him. Perfect.
All right.
Noble.
So Sam moves over. It is Anixia's turn.
I'm putting flank yes in this macro so that way it puts in charge.
I got monies.
You won't be able to charge with the horse in the way and the other dead horses there. You'd have to move over
Oh.
because technically they're all there and count as almost difficult terrain.
Although it doesn't really matter because I still
Eh.
get the flank.
Well, Flank would
Oh
apply if
shit!
it's a threat, and since Sam doesn't know that you're going to be killing Lawrence,
I did
and Lawrence
state
doesn't consider him a threat
I did state
unless you call it
actively
out.
against all people that are not my party.
Okay. I was like, as long as Sam's in on it to know that you may be doing something against him, then
Well, the
then she could be considered a threat to him.
way Seven was acting is that Lawrence might be a problem. I already know Lawrence is probably going to be a problem with stuff in the future, so it's like,
Okay, so Sam's there. Lawrence has his
okay,
wand.
gonna keep eye out. Don't know
Nixiria
what's
comes moving up
going
behind him.
on.
Lawrence just lowers his wand a little bit, turns. Honey, sweetie, you're okay. Oh, thank goodness. I was afraid with the wagon and the horses. Don't worry. You stay with me.
Oh
We'll be
no.
safe.
Well,
And at that point, Michael, Ink Zero would just bite him.
oh damn.
As you are in animal form and chomp.
I can't
Uh,
do that.
Sneak attack would
And that
probably
will hit.
apply
And then +6. But no,
Plus
plus
six?
8 to that.
+8. Yeah, I was gonna say. Uh, that's
You know
gonna
what?
that's gonna leave a mark.
I am totally fine with siding with the elves.
Well, with the
15 plus 9 is 24 plus 8 on top of that.
Yes.
Honestly, they're the most accepting ones out of all of these assholes.
Oh, you're not wrong. You're not
I'm gonna
wrong.
And it's weird too, because elves are always usually the most racist.
Nah, humans are assholes in this game, or at least this land.
This land, yeah.
Yeah.
Seven
I'll be right
liked
back.
pulling Lawrence along, but once he became too much of a problem, he got cut short.
Oh,
So is Lawrence dead or is he
I'll be back.
alive?
24 plus 8, 32 damage.
Plus the 2 non-lethal he had from carp flipping fun time.
So 34
That's
damage.
34 total out of his 35 life.
So he's left at 1 HP.
You basically grab a hold of it and tear into his throat, dragging him almost to the ground. He pushes you off, and blood's gushing out as he grabs his neck with one hand. Turns and looks like, why? Why? You bitch! You are a literal bitch!
And at that point,
I will
Since
kill
Seven-
you!
doesn't know if he speaks Emiskari or not. Seven's just gonna be all like, and I'm sure Sam has told you about my tastes.
Oh god.
I will translate for the 7 and add in with the end of it. He says.
And all Lawrence Lulu's look at you go, you knew? You were in on this? But I love her.
Him?
That one is male.
What?
Yeah, that one's male.
And at that point, he's just raising the wand up. And it looks like he's about to turn that explosive device on himself, trying to probably frag the two of you. At which point,
I know
the
Wandeers
werewolf
doesn't
over
prefer-
here will just charge and basically pounce and finish off what Anixria started. He's like, you good for... right across the chest, and down he goes.
Poetic justice.
It doesn't really need any help of, oh, we're taking those that are with us. All the rest need to be dealt with. Oh, they're trying to deal with that one. He's obviously not with us. And he's dressed like a noble and a human. He's probably someone important. Well, we don't need him. The other
Sorry,
two
Pete.
will close in a little bit because they're not sure about Pete and Ash. Because they look like guards. And they're not sure if they're your guards or if they were his guards.
I mean, to be honest, Sam looks like a guard as well, but
But you were in on that with the dog.
apparently,
Looked like you were
yes.
turning on Lawrence. So you can pick up on that because you did help with flanking. Otherwise, you wouldn't apply for flanking if you were Lawrence's teammate.
I would never have considered myself Lawrence's teammate except for make use of him. I never.
Don't know that. So he's down. bleeding out, and that will take care of him at -9 to -10, unless he gets percentiles.
Oh my
Nope,
gosh.
he's
Uh,
dead.
and so
Couldn't
Sam's
happen
just
to a
like,
better person. Ash's turn. Uh, uh, Next year, just like ate Lawrence's throat. Sam kind of was helping, and that werewolf just like gutted his chest wide open. And
Ash
their
is
two are coming your direction.
Ash is very confused. Cobble, Ash is so confused, but Cobble seems to have an idea. He knows what's going on. So
Don't be
Ash,
dumb, my
don't
child.
don't do.
no, Ash. No, this is where Cobble's gonna try to take control of Ash, and hopefully saying like, "Ash, let me take control." Like, I don't know what you're trying to. Oh god damn it! That one time I needed Cobble. Like,
Sam will just tell Ash because he looks like he's that whole looking around, looking around. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? That look.
Stand down.
It's just like stand down and wait. Let's see where things go.
Okay.
Because I have no idea where things are going.
So you take no action.
Ash is still like, let's see. He's going to. He's. I wanted to take something, but then the only thing I could think of, I was gonna roll percentile to see. Just to figure out what to
Don't be a
do.
hero.
Just
Ash.
stand there.
I don't need to play D&D when I'm drunk.
Why
Drunk
not? Last time you
already?
did it was damned entertaining.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
I'm kind of tipsy.
I'm sorry.
So what happens? Chick?
Okay. He's just gonna back up, and that's about it. That's all he can do.
All
Because
right.
he's so confused, he has no idea what they're gonna do to him, to the other. Though he does tell Pete, run. I don't think they like you.
Oh no. We can't have Pete run.
Pete's just staring straight on deer in the headlights at the dog. He's just frozen stare on Nixria. So Danielle, your turn. Two werewolves closing in. Lawrence dead.
Very dead.
So there is an excitement of joy in Danielle's eyes because she was tired of his bullshit.
That's
Uh,
okay. By the time he got home, he was going to kill you probably.
Oh yeah, most definitely, and I'm grateful that he is dead. And she's just kind of and places a hand on Pete's shoulder. Don't do anything.
I need it to only do one thing. And he just sort of looks at you with like rage-filled eyes.
Oh, you do know that provokes an attack of op, right? First, you have to
That's
make
okay. He
a
doesn't have
touch
any
attack to
weapons,
see if
so
you.
he can't do anything.
Mm.
So can't take the attack of ops. So that's a touch attack. Now you have to actually roll the grapple check to fight the little man.
Oh boy.
And since he's small, he suffers a -4, but he gets a +1 due to strength.
No. Not with a 7.
So no, it's basically hand on shoulder. Next thing, he's off the ground in a chokehold.
Does he count as being in Danielle's square?
It counts as
Next
grappled, so
round.
he's denied his dex.
Next round, he will be. Danielle will go into his square and have him grappled. But right
Okay.
now, he's denied by outside targets dex. So yeah, if you walk up and basically slit his throat while Danielle's holding him, aside from getting blood on her, he's a dead man. Not that he has much life to begin with left.
Poor bastard.
Getting ran over by the car, then getting crushed by a horse, and everything else doesn't really help your situation.
I liked him too.
I know, I liked him too. Yeah, I like them better.
Pete will try to wiggle his way out of that grapple. Pose grapple check by Danielle. That is an 18, so a 14. Not even close. And he's kicking and trying to
Squirming and
bite you and squiggling for his hands, trying to get his weapon, and he's
If you
not making any
want,
progress.
if you value your life, then stop.
I'm dead either way. At least I could do is serve my master one last time.
Ash, Pete,
I owe him
no.
my life.
Your master was an asshole. Stop.
Of course he was. He was my asshole. He saved my life. He saved me from death and torture, and you killed him. You're all guilty.
All right, it's your choice.
all right.
Which point
Michael,
he's just kicking and screaming and cursing all of you
Michael,
and Halfling.
I don't know to speak Halfling, so I don't know what the last part is. Sam will approach, and she gets over there, and is like, then I can at least grant you an honorable death. Will that work?
He just looks at you. I'll show you honorable. Give me my weapon, and I'm gonna run it right through your heart, and then that bitch's heart too.
By all means, Sam.
All right, ready action. Uh, Danielle, turn him loose.
Very well. Danielle drops his ass.
On your turn, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably won't happen though. Anixria,
He's denied his dex, correct?
he's grappled.
And he's dead.
Yeah, she's not gonna give him even a second to draw his weapon or anything. I saw that coming.
Yeah, all the players did. I was at least going to make the offer because it's she's not
Pete
lawful,
was one step
was
away from basically winding up like how that elf was with Anixria and Lawrence. And Lawrence saved him, so he owed him his life, and he was 100% loyal, even if he knew his master was a total monster and asshole. Because that guy saved his life.
oh god, I think he's very much dead.
Yeah, no.
But
26
kind of
damage.
a little effed. So yeah, the little guy life was missing 12, had quite a bit of non-lethal, and he didn't even have 30 life to begin with. So
Yeah, he's very dead.
Overkill.
it's basically Seven reaches up and tears his insides basically completely out, and it goes all over the floor, and blood sprays out, and it's basically on Sam's shoes. The blood's dripping over onto Danielle's feet. He basically chokes, he gags, he spits blood up, and he's dead in your arms, Danielle.
Ash just looks down at
And
him.
Ash gets a little bit of blood on his cheek as he spits his last breath.
Ash just looks at him, and Kabu tells him, well, a pity. I kind of liked him too. Yeah, I did too.
I'm not done with my turn. I still have my swift action. I'm going to swift action back into Inxira and simply state, well, shit has just gotten real. I suggest you all follow me and the other person because things are about to happen, and I am sorry, but I am 7.
And I am Sam. Can we take their stuff?
Ash was like,
Yes.
wait, 7. The dog 7.
Just the dog 7.
You're
Explains a
Why
lot,
you
doesn't
actually
it,
bother
Ash?
telling people?
Ash just gets like
So
this
good.
shock.
Do we still need to be in round count, Michael?
No, you can continue conversating.
Ash just
Okay.
has this.
Because I was
look
going
of
to start looting
shock.
the bodies.
Ash is like, how many of you knew?
And
then-
Everyone?
yeah,
Sam just looks
I
at him
had
and is like, who do you think arranged this?
And then Kabu whispered, and Kabu even said, I had my suspicion. Even you knew!
He's the
Da-
smarter of the two.
Da- Danielle is looting.
I believe the term is
bodies.
wiser of the two. Oh, jeez.
Ash just slumps over, looking like he just, I can't, he felt like he just got left out of something.
Yeah. Taking their gear, Michael.
Won't be too much a problem for Pete once Danielle puts the body down and you get around the blood. His clothing is ruined. He only had like a studded leather shirt, not even magical. His dagger, or short sword, honestly, which would be a dagger for you guys pretty much, is a +1 of decent quality,
So it's a short sword,
small size. So
small,
basically worthless for
+1.
any of you guys.
Excuse me. It's magical.
He also has a ring on, magical, uh, ring of protection +1. He
Cobb,
has
I am making notes.
300 gold, local currency, of course, for this time period.
Wow, he had more than I thought.
Cobble does.
And he has a bag of holding water.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
And of course, he has some paperwork and notes and other stuff inside.
All right. And then I'm gonna look over at Lawrence. Is that werewolf currently eating him?
Uh, Tearing him open just to make sure that he is 100% dead.
I'll ask in Elven if
So,
I can have his stuff.
Werewolf will turn and look around a little bit as he's getting ready to growl at you, but realizes the others kind of are just standing by waiting for him to finish playing. And he'll look down at Lawrence's hand, which has like a bracelet, two rings on. He will chomp down, bite his hand off, and flip it over at your feet.
I will remove the
Cobble,
things off of it and offer the hand to Seven.
Cobble will take over if Ash
Seven will take it.
goes. Cobble will take over Ash while he's sulking, goes into the carriage, finds Lawrence's bag of magic wands, take, comes out with it, and gives them to Sam. Here, there's all his little magic sticks that he's kept. They'll be useful
Thank
for
you.
us. It's so much easier to control Ash when he's like this.
You will open up a small sack, and inside will be a wand bracer with 3 wands in it.
Ooh. Plus the one wand he had on the ground.
That was in the other hand, but yeah, I guess Ash could probably pick it up along the way and hand you that other one. He does have another wand on his person, which he usually kept in his vest, which looked to be an eternal wand because it was gem studded, and that he had used
Does
for the
it
wagon.
look like? Can I see it on the ground?
With his chest torn open and everything, you do see a little bit of blood and a shiny crystal sticking out from part of a vest. So you can get all 5 of his wands.
Yay! And
While
he had 2
people are
rings.
collecting shit, Seven would be taking off all of his shit so he could go back into his Chow Chow form and then put all the stuff back on.
At this point, the horses will have kind of stood up and everything.
I'm gonna.
And the one werewolf will proceed up slowly and just put a hand on it, and will be leading the one horse away, and then come back and get the other one.
I was actually gonna check the horses. How are they health wise?
Pretty messed up, but he seems to be healing them.
I was gonna
Only
say I was
2 of
gonna
them are
heal
dead.
one of them if he wasn't.
2 of them are dead. Remember that.
So after a while, Danielle's just like,
Will my healing be required, Michael?
No, he seems to just be cranking out spell after spell of cure light wounds, cure light wounds, cure light wounds, cure light wounds, cure minor, cure minor.
so she kind of just asks Seven and Aquin, game plan?
Are you asking before he goes into 7 form?
Well, after.
How is he supposed to fucking talk?
Oh, right.
Sam, can you
sorry.
interpret as I ask the dog a question?
I need to find a way to understand y'all's language. God.
You
You
need to set
are
him
the
up with
one-
another pearl so he can speak one language for you guys and one for his own.
are the one that's sitting over there not drinking alcohol, but you forget the biggest problem with my character?
Accurate.
I might not be drinking alcohol, but I just had an entire monster. So my
Eh.
mind is going 20 miles per hour right now.
Mind?
I'm like,
What
All the
mind?
better to remember.
Ash
No
does
mercy.
eventually get his Ash does eventually get his mind back, and he sees a dog, the werewolf eating Lawrence, and a whole bunch of things, and he's so confused. So he's like, "Okay, are the werewolves? So the
Wait.
werewolves are on our side, right?" He asks Sam.
For
That
now.
one werewolf, after gutting Lawrence, basically goes and looks in the carriage and sniff around for
So-
anything.
after a while, Danielle's
So-
going to.
7. What's the plan?
The
I'll
plan
say that in Namaskari.
is that we are following these druids because they think we're spies for them.
Well, considering part of our job will take us
Yes.
to the Elven capital, or at least to the Elven lands. Meh?
Exactly. We are here to help the elven lands. Technically, so that way we can. They just don't. They didn't know we were their spies yet.
I'll let you do the talking. I can't lie to save my own life, hardly.
Actually,
Can I?
would you guys like my assistance on this?
I look at 7 and look back at Estella. Look at 7.
My bluff is pretty high.
And one of the werewolves is proceeding forward as you guys are chit-chatting and starts like smelling Danielle's feet.
May I assist you?
Stands up as he's about 6 foot tall, looking at you. You
Down at her.
smell different. Would you like to be my woman?
Oh, pardon?
At least he's asking politely.
I mean, yes, but what?
I
Hey,
believe,
tell-
sir, she has a man already.
I, not here.
Bill.
My apologies then. I didn't know you were taken. You
Bit-
seem to
bit-
handle
bit-
yourself well and remain calm. But if this man ever fails you, I will challenge him to a death battle, rip out his heart, offer it to you to prove my love. And then you will be mine.
Danielle kind of just arches an eyebrow.
Wow,
Seven
I think that's the
is
best
going
offer
to
you've
roll
had.
his eyes.
I think it's the best courtship offer you've had yet.
Yes, it actually is.
Shall we proceed on
Yes.
instead of
and,
hanging out here for the guards to show up at some point, which I'd rather not
And-
deal with?
And if you must ask, yes, my relationship is open.
Don't tell Bill that.
What he doesn't know won't
No.
hurt him, Sam.
Thank you, Seven.
I look at 7 and just respond, that's why I said don't tell him.
So, listen check by werewolf overhearing that. So I have a chance.
You're on your own, Estella.
Yes, you have a chance, good sir.
Sam goes walking off,
What is going to
sheathing-
follow?
cleaning and sheathing sword as she goes.
Although I need to change my picture.
Your other
Back
one's
to
in the
your
bottom
ri-
left corner.
I'm
Okay,
surprised.
thank you.
So, Michael, is this how you planned things would go?
It was one of 3 options. And it was number 2 of how it could have played out.
I don't see it. So it must have disappeared.
It's right here.
I moved it back over to the center.
Okay. Thank you. Great.
He's
There
being
we-
sneaky. He moved it on you.
It was there. You didn't grab it. So I was like,
How dare
let me
you be
grab it.
sick?
That's because I keep my map really zoomed in, so I have to zoom out and then go in.
I'll have it zoomed in for people watching.
All right. I will move the puppy down at the very bottom over with the brother of Ash in case you need it for some other reason.
The brother of Ash.
Ash.
Yee.
Well, technically the brother of Jonathan. Poor
yes.
guy died in that town.
Both brothers are gone. Or no, wait, no. Never mind.
This party does so much gender swapping, it's crazy.
That's only 2 That's only 2 of the 4 party. Okay, yeah, that is half the group.
Well, I mean, come on. So,
Sam and
at
7 are
which
gonna leave y'all
point,
behind.
You'll all get Lawrence's signet ring, his journal, travel papers, and then basically just a regular sack, and on top of all the other items you'd gotten.
So, in Errand, she asks, so if we wind up finding his father or something, what the fuck are we supposed to do?
Sam will respond in comment. I have no idea what you just said.
Exactly.
Hmm. Sam will call out in Elven to the uh, werewolf guy in
You will turn
charge,
around,
if I can still see him.
still there on the map.
All right, I'll call out to him and ask if any of his creatures are in need of healing, because I can do that. Some of that.
They are fine. Your concern for them is not surprising. If you are done dealing with your escort, sorry for your loss and ruining your cover, we shall proceed back to the Grove.
He was useful, but he was troublesome and nosy.
He was a noble.
And an
Yes.
asshole.
Consider it a
And
glorious opportunity to remove one of them.
I just love the fact that all three of us are speaking in Elven while Ash is just like dum de dum de dum.
yeah, screw. He is walking around trying to figure out what's going on. He doesn't understand his language at all. Kyle doesn't understand it either.
So I have a question. Can we teach you that language?
Yes.
Yes, you could
He
teach him.
He has to
I
take
just
a
need.
rank in speak
Speak
language skill,
language.
and we can teach it to him. Yes.
All right.
which, if you're not like a bard or someone who actually has the skill, then it would cost you 2 points.
Unfortunately,
Yes.
yeah.
Changelings, which get it as a free thing, so 1 point.
Yeah.
Language,
So
language.
next level, when you level up, that can be done, and yes, we can teach you Elven.
Through roleplay if Ash was interested.
Most
Otherwise,
likely,
could just get one of those magic goodies and get a pearl of speech and head slot. Yeah, you can speak Elven now.
Yep. All right. I have to step away for a moment, so I will be right back. Sam will
wait, what's the
translate
skill
as
called again?
needed for various party members.
Wait, what was the language? I mean, what was the skill called again? Language or
Speak language.
Linguistics or speak language.
There's speech you can take also, but to put ranks in the skill, it's called speak language. It usually isn't on the character sheet, I think. You have to kind of
yeah,
add it manually.
that's why I can't find it.
Yeah. The only time it really shows up on the sheet is like for Bard, I think. It's the only base class. I know Scout also gets speak language. Changelings get it as a racial trait. But yeah, you have to put like 2 ranks toward it and declare what language you're buying and
An entire
get it.
party of changelings would be so fun.
Be confusing as hell.
Oh yeah, but it'd be awesome. Oh, we need to sneak into this private cult. All right, all we need to do is find some like change magical devices for clothing, and then we'll just like, all right, what forms do we need? This height. All right, got it.
So Lawrence and Pete have left the party.
can,
Good. So
can I set fire to them, or would that just draw attention? That'd probably draw attention.
Oh, by the way, I should probably note that once the rings had been taken off from the hand toss to Seven, once he was in his doggy form, he's just like has it in his mouth, carrying it around, trying to eat it while on the go.
wow, not surprising though.
Ash just go over to Estelle like, "Hey, Daniela, like, you could since you could speak to these werewolves, can you ask them like, how do they take with our weapons? You know, our weapons."
We'll find out the moment we get to this grove, good sir. Also, don't you worry your pretty little mind. We will find ways around this. Well, not around this, but figure out what this. You know what?
At which
Uh,
point, half the werewolves will mount up on the large winged creatures, which will be making like croaking sounds, heal them up,
okay,
and fly off ahead of you toward the forest.
they're like They're like weirdly cute. Please
Their
tell me up.
They
Tell
got
me
their
up.
little wiggly things on their back that look like hair, and they make sounds like a frog would for
Yes,
communication purposes.
grossly adorable.
And they
I
have that
imagine
long
more like
nose like an anteater that has mouths, which they use to bite in and then lick the blood of their enemies,
I
drinking it.
actually wonder if there's a plushie of it. Hmm.
I'm sure you could
probably
probably
not.
request it somewhere and
I
have it
mean,
made.
what's their thing called again?
Foul wing,
Foul
one
wing
word.
plushies.
Now I'm
Come on.
curious what option 1 and option 3 were.
Option one's very similar to two, it just plays out quite a bit differently, but gets to the same end goal with you guys following these guys.
I am.
It just results in
Ah!
Lawrence probably being alive still, at least for a little bit longer or permanently, and being your prisoner. And option three is it
Death!
breaks out into a fight with the werewolves, and that's a little bit rougher.
7 was just trying to find a quick advantage that didn't lead to fighting, so he could just hopefully smooth it all over, so that way, people
There's
could live, but oh well.
there's about 90% chance the second they realize that he's dressed like a noble and they see his ring or something that, oh, you're the guy from that controls this whole area. You're from that house. You're dead. This is non-negotiable unless there's a damn good reason. Like 90% chance you're dead. So you basically just kind of did what they were going to do anyway, probably to him, and kind of helped secure your inn. Although I'm curious how you're going to keep yourself on the inn.
7 hasn't fought that far yet.
Probably not. So
Yeah,
at which
Ash has no
point,
idea what's going on, but he's going along with the ride. For
We have no idea what's going on. We'll just say that we are from other country. Wait, what's the layout geographical? Sam?
Sam, but
Sam?
be right back.
Sam's TMK.
Right. We're gonna have to ask Sam for a little story assistance here.
rest
Hey,
in
man.
peace, Lawrence.
7 does the lying and the killing. Other than that, it's all up to Sam.
I'm fine with the lion. Killing can be a mixed bag. Honestly, what I'm curious about is what the fuck is going on.
Actually, since we're still waiting, 7's going to go over to one of the horses and he's going to lick them.
They're still kicking.
I know, but he's doing it as a calming manner because he knows he put those horses through hell. And it's a way to say I'm sorry.
Actually, she's going to take a look around to see if there's a way, if there's some saddles or something. Probably not, but I'm fine. My ride
The guy
check's
would
decent.
unhook them, so they're literally nothing. No bit, no bridle, even as the werewolf just kind of walking in front. Well, he would have kept the bit and bridle to give something to hold on to, as he's just leading them along, and they seem to be okay with the wolfman leading them.
Oh,
As he trails behind you guys, and you have the three of you in the center, Seven's hanging back, and the other armored werewolf leading you with one of the big toads. The other four flew off after being healed and such with the other four werewolves.
Danielle's just going to throw her arms behind her head, kind of just in a as relaxed as she can be manner. Mostly thinking about how the fuck she's going to get out of this situation.
Feel like you're just prolonging the inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, let's go back to their base camp where they have more.
Great.
Well, it's better than our other option, going inside and saying, "Oh, we got ambushed by a bunch of werewolves. Our Lawrence is dead."
Oh, great. Lawrence is dead. Actually, I don't mind that. He's my asshole. Aw. You're in love. All right. Kill this fucker.
So you guys will proceed walking away from the topsy-turvy wagon and following the armored werewolf toward the forested area, which the little one did not want to go near. And after that nice little walk, you'll proceed into the heavily forested area. The lead werewolf will wave his hands, at which point, after chanting a spell, the forested area around you seems to like bend out of your way, creating a path as long as you're near him. And you start walking forward and forward deeper into the woods. About another 30 minutes of walking, the forested area seems to change rapidly as it becomes darker, and the brush is much thicker and fuller. The types of vines and everything and brush are different shades of color, like it just suddenly changed in a rapid pattern. The trees are not the same type of trees as before.
Danielle's just kind of shaking her head. Magic. I mean, it's divine magic, but I don't know if they're going to be. Mm. You know what? Uh, she will wind up asking, what's the werewolf behind her? And Elvin, what's your opinion on, well, on psionic magic?
The
Oh.
what?
Alright then, never mind.
Falcon and Emissary is just going to mumble, "You idiot."
Sam's too far ahead and has a horrible listen check to be able to hear that.
And Ash has no idea what they're asking.
Correct.
So you guys have gone from walking for 30 minutes toward the woods to walking for 30 minutes in the woods. Then suddenly you go from having like redwoods to cedar trees around you to different brushes to it being almost like a different time of day. And you then come to a large opening with houses hidden in the woods and dead oak trees, one little log cabin set up with smoke coming from it. Otherwise, there seems to be a large well in the center, which is water's being pulled up by people dressed in clothing that appear to be elven and half elves. Seem to be getting along. There's a bunch of tents. They almost look like refugees. Meanwhile, you see the werewolves from before sort of walking around. They seem to be feeding red liquid to the fowl wings in like a trough. Probably animal blood, you hope.
She's
Well,
just. It looks so much nicer than the human shit.
There's also
Yeah.
flowers all around at night. There's a little bit of glowing phosphorus. There's glowing fungus. There, simple.
Yay.
On the trees to where it illuminates the area
Words
along
can be
with little
difficult.
bugs.
But are they fun guys?
No. Stop.
Shig,
Denied, good sir. Denied. That's Naya
which-
on Monday.
Yeah.
think about what you've done.
At which
I
point
did.
the werewolves will walk by you, pretty much ignoring you at the ford from earlier, and they will shift back into their human forms naked as they just walk past you into the woods a little bit and start putting on clothes as they're just chit chatting with each other.
Hey, Michael, you remember how last night we were talking about Shig not doing enough puns? Well, he finally started back up. We were getting worried about you, Shig.
I was about to send over a thermometer if it got worse.
I just had the right. I just had to wait for the right. This was the right setup.
So, at which point the four will come back out as you see elves with tattoo markings, scratch marks, and scars on their body as they wear loose fitting clothing, simply made for probably obvious reasons because when they transform, it goes to bits.
You know what?
Yeah.
I gotta do this. I gotta do this.
Uh-oh. Oh, boy.
Uh, is our creepy eyes anywhere around us?
Hmm?
Is what?
Creepy eyes.
Who the fuck is Creepy Eyes?
Glowy
You're
eyes.
referring to like the assassin guy back in the
Yes.
town that's watching you.
Why the fuck would
You
he
don't
fucking
know?
I don't
show
know.
himself?
He wouldn't.
Doesn't mean I can't look around out of curiosity.
You look around, you basically see elves and half-elf refugees. You see the four werewolves coming back with now clothes on instead of them being naked walking by you when they shifted back to human form. You see the one individual now in humanoid form taking the two horses over and taking care of them, taking them over to some grain he has, and also a trough as they drink water, not the blood. And the other werewolf shifts back into human form while wearing his armor and some clothing and comes walking back. So we need to discuss matters. If you'll follow me, all of you.
Hi ho, hi ho, hi ho, hi ho. Our deaths are coming very soon.
You sing
Which
weird
point
shit.
he leads you a little bit outside that encampment and over to a large viney area. As you push past the brush, it's a waterfall, and the top of the waterfall looks kind of like a cave entrance, although it has like a peak to it, and you could almost swear that it looks like the jaws of like a large wolf mouth with water running out of it. Either that's one hell of a coincidence or they did some magical shaping or carving to make it look more like a howling wolf mouth with water running from it.
Don't give two shits. It's
Impressive. Don't give two shits. It's impressive.
At which point the individual will lead you on around the lake, up to the side of the waterfall, behind it into a large cavern. Inside, the area is almost modern. There are wooden tables, there are lanterns, there are silverware, amenities, packs of clothing, crates, all kinds of stuff that you wouldn't expect
Uh,
druids to have.
how treacherous was the climb up?
You didn't have to climb up. You didn't climb up to the wolf's head. You just simply went behind the waterfall, the water falling out of the mouth, and there was a whole
Okay.
cave behind it.
Ooh.
There is a separate entrance up there, so if you wanted to fall inside cave or climb up there, you could.
Actually, I think Seven's going to shift into his birdie form and then go up there.
You fly up there, and there is a wolf up there and a human wearing nothing but shorts, looking down, apparently keeping watch. Just sees the large bird land
caca, motherfucker.
and just responds to you in Druidic, one of ours.
Seven's just going to try his best in bird form to kind of shrug his shoulders.
Flap, flap, pause, shrug, flap, flap.
Curious bird.
And then he'll go back down to the party.
I'm back.
Yeah, you can tell up there that they have spears, crossbows. They have the network cave up there, which is lit and seems to go downward, almost like going down the throat of the wolf, and seems to go has steps and leads down to the cavern below.
Oh,
So it
well,
all
then
is
he's just
connected.
going to fly down that.
You go flying down, you nearly run into a woman who's walking up. It's like, oh, sorry, my apologies. And as you're flying down, you actually pass by two birds which are flying up and out.
And that he's just gonna like take a second take and then look back at the two birds and be like, "What the hell? I'm not used to other people doing this shit."
At which point you'll proceed down and you'll be coming around the steps and the corner as they're walking in behind the waterfall. And yeah, you see a large table, you see chairs, you see all kinds of stuff. You see on your side as you come around and down steps from your vantage point, you can also see over a small 4-foot wall a whole set of weaponry and arsenals and stuff, and even training dummies made of straw.
Oh, it's so cute.
And then at which
It's a
point you
war
all
camp.
meet, the individual will ask you to take a seat at the table. Any chair is fine.
Is he doing this in Elven or Common?
Elven,
Alright. Then I will repeat the
as all
instructions
these
in common
individuals.
for
Yeah.
Ash.
Yeah, Ash just listens
I
to
will be
Sam and just nods.
translating for him.
At which point he will take a seat and he'll sort of look at all of you. Be like, you can remove your disguises. You're safe among friends.
Uh,
Dude, at
He
that
assumes you may
point,
be using like hats of disguise if you're elves to pretend, much like how Seven did. So it's like, oh, if you're using disguise or something, you can be natural. It's fine. You're
but
safe
at
here.
that point, Michael, Seven would actually go into his human form, have Inxira switch genders over to Velkin, and then be all like, hi, and then go back into bird form.
if that's the case, then Danielle will shift in her natural, Estella form then.
So
And then at that point, he would have also removed all his stuff and put it back on. I gotta go be right back because I gotta pee.
Okay. Ash would just put his hand hats Kabu on the table and just gives him a look, sighs, and then takes the disguise off, and Kabu just appears on his arm.
Just looks like a little gemstone at first glance, so they won't pay any mind really. It's like, oh, good.
Well,
Oh,
alright.
you appear to be human.
Takes
As he
head
responds in
off.
common.
Sam will take her head off, at which point, boom, full armor, full geared out Sam. Because she's decked out in full heavy gear, in full gear. Lots of magic items,
Oh shit, that was
including
so
face
aggravating.
mask.
You're not what I quite well, aside from the bird, you're not all what I expected.
Flips face mask up.
On off,
Don't
on off,
mean it
on
in
off.
regards to being female, my dear. Just you're not elves or half elves. You must be from the other division. Or maybe mercenaries?
Um,
Sam's gonna look over at Seven.
well, 70
Well,
has AFK right now.
I know.
we'll let one of the others come and hold conversation. I'm not really the best at these aspects. If you'll excuse me. At which point he goes walking off and he just kind of seems to take his walks like 2 feet away from you, turns, goes over to a wall, starts taking his armor off, swings his sword over the side onto like a hanger as it's dangling down, seems to hit some other metal, takes off his boots, and then he takes off his shirt, his pants, walks off naked, heads outside, takes a swim.
Hmm.
These really are seven.
Put the mask back on, put the hat back on, and back to simple civilian Sam.
Estella's just kind of
He's
Turn-
a druid.
turns-
Don't worry about
turn.
it.
No. Looks at Seven. Sam, if you please, can you translate? Did they know that? Did we not? And she'll be saying that in Aquan.
Seven's going to roll his eyes, go back into Velkin form again, take off all his stuff, and be like, yo, what's up?
What you missed possibly was the fact that they all sat down at the table. He told them that they could be natural. Goes, oh, I'm surprised that some of you are human. I'll try to speak common. I'm not really much of a conversationalist. I guess you're with one. I thought you were gonna be elves. I guess you're with the other division. Well, I guess
As
it's not
in-
important. I guess I'll let the other guy do the talking since I'm not good at this. And then at which point he walked over to the small wall you saw with all the armory, took off his armor, nonchalant, took off his weapon, took off his boots, took off his shirt, took off his pants, walked out naked, and went swimming. And left you just sit at the table.
Mm,
And then at that point, Seven's just going to roll his eyes once more and be like, what?
I just.
We're all trying to get to the eastern side.
I mean,
Well,
yeah.
we have a few stops before we get over there, but yes.
That is the end goal, yeah.
And don't you think these people are the best way? I mean,
Oh, I
They're my
agree. I'd much
people.
rather work with them
Yeah,
than
the human.
people like
What language
Lawrence.
are y'all speaking? If
Common.
okay, cool. Ash,
Whispering but common.
Which point people are just sort of coming and going. Occasionally, you'll have one of the druids come walk in. You'll have like a wolf come walking by. Which point two individuals come walk up to the table, all big and buff in human form. Just sort of look at you guys, make sort of like a huff, turn, walk off. At which point a young female elf, I mean maybe young, I mean it's hard to tell with elves, but definitely adult age will come walking up and be and will take a seat at the head and start off to start speaking Elven, very polite, very civilized, very much educated, as she uses fancy words to describe the surroundings and to greet you all, and like almost like she was expecting you, kind of thing. At which point she stops, looks, and repeats in common to say, "It is a pleasure to greet all of you. It is a wonderful time that you made it to our location. We have been expecting you among our grove. Our harvest has been bountiful as per the request. Our grain stocks are ready and filled for the recent activities. Our weapon stock has been supplied by you appropriately, and we have been making use of them and freeing individuals thanks to your assistance." Uh, there we go. I believe that some of you weren't understanding me. My apologies for being rude.
Not a
If
problem.
you'll excuse me, the one in charge will be here shortly. At which point she stands up out of the seat, and the two big guys come back hauling what looks like a mannequin, and they plop it down in the seat. And they
Oh.
turn and walk off. At which point she stands beside it, and then she turns to you and starts in Elven again. Then she stops herself about halfway through the first word, says, "I present to you the one you came to meet." Assuming that she either someone was expecting you or she's mistaking you for someone else.
I'm studying the mannequin because I have an idea what this might be, but I am intensely curious.
Ash
It
is a bit confused.
looks like a fully wooden mannequin with mechanical joints that can be moved.
Velkin's going to lean over and sniff the damn.
At which point, there's like a wisp of mist and what looks to be a ghostly figure appear behind the chair, and he walks through the chair and sets down the mannequin. At which point, the mannequin comes to life and gives a corporeal image of the individual as he becomes fully physical through animation of the mannequin.
Stella is
Oh.
very a bit confused.
Ash is slightly confused, but he's seen this kinds of stuff before. He doesn't expect it to see it back in this far in time.
At which point he turns. 'Cause, yeah, this is way out of the ordinary. I mean, unless you're basically a full blown necromancer kind of dabbing and stuff, this is a little bit odd for the time frame.
Puppet usage.
At which point he simply looks at you guys as you see a human, short hair, uh, basic clothes kind of on the mannequin, real simple. And the mannequin immediately turns to the lady and goes, "So, is it on straight?" And then turns back. "Okay, okay, good, good." As she gives a nod. "Greetings." Just turns back to her. "Who the hell are these people? These aren't the usual ones that show up." Which point she turns, and Elvin, "I thought you were expecting them. I figured he just sent new people." "Why would he send new people? Tell me you didn't bring the wrong people again." Which point he turns, "My apologies." As he crosses his hands as the wood sword clasps together and leans over the table. "Who are you? And why are you here?"
Uh,
Oh god damn! I think everyone turns to Seven at this point.
Probably turns to Sam and Seven is like, you two!
Stella will.
Looks back over at the elf. She's like, and responds in Elven to him, "That one's a druid and said that to the warrior that they're to be brought here and so forth. They killed a noble. Good for them. What's that have to do with what we were doing?"
Stella will say in Elven, "We are mercenaries. Our job is a bit of a weird one, and honestly, We didn't like that fucker anyway. We don't have any sides. Though I
Well,
do say that the elves are definitely probably the ones that we will side with.
technically, we do have a side. We have a job to do,
Well, yes, there's that,
as
but
Sam will say in Elven.
and the job is definitely
Um,
Now, our job is roundabout and is
who
lacking in a
died?
great many details.
Lawrence something?
I will place his signet ring on the table.
Yeah, that fucker.
Wait, a Hellbirds is dead? No,
Yeah.
wait, that's a Glint. No, Glint is it Hellbird? But sorry, that's north. This is south. Glintenbird's dead. Oh man, they're gonna be pissed at us. Well,
To be
finally
fair.
got one of them.
Yeah.
To be fair, he had it coming.
Uh, yeah, he's got a fence a mile long and enjoys torturing and killing elves like no one else.
Yeah.
Seven's just gonna be quiet.
So,
This is an Elvin because Ash has no idea what's going on. He feels like out of the loop.
I'll be
He doesn't wanna
honest,
There's
interrupt.
humans here.
as
Yes,
Sam's going to
sir.
switch to common. So, I'll be honest. We have a very complicated job, very much lacking in details. Our original stop was going to be the
You're not the
capital.
only one, miss.
Oh, yeah. Because our boss seems fit to not tell us
A damn
thing.
So
In
then,
advance.
Seven's actually gonna interrupt Estella and Sam and be all like, I know we're not the people who were originally supposed to be sent to you, but is this something that we could help with?
Depends if you get to live long enough. And I know that's coming from a dead man, but in all seriousness, it's kind of an important matter because if you're not supposed to be here, then you're not going to be here.
Oh, wait, you're
That's
actually
the
dead?
point.
Wait, you're dead?
I thought this was
Yeah,
remote possession.
I'm a ghost inside of a body. As he basically stops, the mannequin basically slumps over and he steps out. I'm a freaking ghost.
Huh, I thought this was
And he
remote
steps back
possession through
in.
magic.
Ash
Well, then, if we're
Yeah.
not supposed to be here, since we have nothing to do with the humans and their side of things, and we're a neutral third party on this island, can't we just agree that we all weren't here and therefore we weren't here?
Well, first off, I hate to correct you, but it is kind of an important matter because, as that one put it, the boss doesn't really take kindly. I mean, Bloodfang has his rules. And secondly, you're not in the human territory anymore, you're in the elven territory. So, it being in this kingdom under these laws and everything, things are different here in Surathar.
Wait. Mm,
So we crossed the border
How
already?
did we get
It's
into the
different.
elven?
You guys went through a Fey gate that we used to bring you here. We crossed the border. It's several days,
She face palms.
probably weeks worth.
Fey
When was the last time I
gate.
was out of here?
Wonderful. Why
Well,
didn't I
anyway,
think of that?
yeah, you went through a Fey
Huh?
crossing, so you're now in the Elven territory. You probably just went basically a month's walk.
Oh, we went
Ash
the wrong
looks very
direction.
confused.
We missed so
We went the
many
wrong
steps.
direction, and now we're, what, 6, 8 months early?
yeah.
Ash
You seem
looks.
to be very lost and have your own plans.
We had instructions we're supposed to follow. The problem is that one points at the ring was causing
Got some
problems.
problems.
So we
He
were going
got-
to use him to get the fast way to where we were going. Well, he
He-
caused too many problems.
On the
You got
one hand,
involved
sounds
to-
like you got really far ahead, so you're where you kind of wanted to be. Unfortunately, you stay here.
About 6 months to a year early. Which, if we do things out of order, that might get us in trouble, and the boss is not the most forgiving.
Ash just looks at a.
I don't know who you serve, but I'm gonna need some names to be able to give my boss. Not that he can kill me or anything. Right.
You
Can
say
he-
that, but
But
Yeah. And I need to know who or what you're working for to find out if you're actually spies, rebels, mercenaries, and yet again, who you're working for. So I know if I need to have the guys here, as you hear the wooden finger snap as the two big guys come back, come over here and take you out back. Don't worry,
I
we'll
like the
make
way
it
you
quick
phrase
if we
that.
do have to kill you, and we will bury you properly. We're not animals,
And you're not going to
except
turn
for
us into
that one.
undead. I
As
like
he
this
points
even
at the
better.
wolf, that's totally an animal.
Hey, at least you'll bury us and not turn us into undead. I like that much better already.
Ash
Why
does
would I
look
make
at
it dead? That's horrifying.
Ash does
That's
look.
what the humans
The
apparently do.
human spin do.
It's
Ash
a
does turn
perversion of
and look at
magic.
the
No.
other. Ash does turn and look at Sam and Seven and just asks, "What do we do? What are you gonna tell them?"
But we tell them our names first of
Some
all.
names first, yes.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
okay.
kind of being polite.
That's
Sam
not
I-
turns to the guy and
taking it all
says,
the way.
"Hi, my name is Sam. What is yours?"
I am Estella Everton.
I'm Ash. I am Ash.
And I'm 7.
So one druid and a bunch of other odd individuals which talk to each other and give out their names and then officially introduce themselves. Okay. Well,
And your
you
name,
definitely
sir,
aren't
is?
spies because you're too dumb. So
I suck at
good.
lying. I'll be completely honest. So a spy is not my
Not
occupation.
no. I don't have to worry about that.
Swordsmith, swordswoman, yes. Spy, no.
Huh.
And I'm just
we
a
have-
druid.
Do we have any blacksmiths? Sir, you may not get to keep her. Oh, right. The whole Outback dead thing, right. My apologies. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Outback dead thing? Oh, right. Yeah. I would
If I have
prefer
to have you guys killed,
We
you know.
prefer to avoid that. We
For
kind of have
that,
a job
yeah.
to do.
I'd rather, like, work for my life than, like, die.
Yeah, no. That's. I'm a pretty decent sailor.
Not near any water. Kind of
Yeah.
in the heart of the forested area. I mean, we got a
Yeah.
lake out front if you want to build a little boat. We got like
She
a
would
canoe out
probably
back.
love
Let
to.
me talk for the idiot. She's a good assassin.
There's
Well,
that
if you're
too.
here to kill me, too bad someone beat you to it.
I assure you.
I don't exactly think I would kill you as much as use you as a chew toy.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm back.
Eh,
No. I'm not here to kill anyone. But to answer your question, yes, we are more or less mercenaries.
Currently.
Some
for
more than
the
others.
unlife of me, I can't understand who would send you to meet us and why.
Um, well, if I had a little bit of clue as to who us and where this is, I might be able to tell you, because I do have a list of places we're supposed to go and people to see.
Oh,
Oh yeah, isn't it this one?
I have no idea if this is the place or not.
Danielle will take out. I mean, not Danielle. Estella will take out her the note that we got.
Sam's gonna look over the list with her. Alright, so first was the capital. Then after that, it was to go here.
Go here. And then
Let's see. Merchant shop in the capital. Then we have to go to that hidden place, make some deliveries. Meet with some guys. This matters at the site. I'm assuming that's the same location. And then travel here to the Elven Kingdom. Meet with. I hope I don't mispronounce this. Rula? I'm probably
yeah,
mispronouncing
that's not
this.
me, and I'm not sure who you're talking about.
Me neither.
This isn't the capital.
No. This just
No,
says
no,
go
no,
to
this is go
travel
to
to Elven Kingdom, meet with so and so.
somewhat so. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know what part of the Elven Kingdom.
Do we have anyone on our payroll by that name? Female elf just takes her eyes off of Seven, turns over to him. No, sir, we do not. Okay, sorry, can't help you there. That's not really helping your situation much either. Though apparently you have one heck of a list that you've just gotten way off of.
Well, we were on the process of doing the first one, except pain in the ass Noble
Yes.
caused problems.
Mm-hmm.
And then the easiest way out of it was honestly getting your guys' help. And then somehow we ended up in a different kingdom by taking a Fey Gate, which we did not know about
Did
or
not
plan
know.
ahead. Although, honestly, I'm not surprised about the fact you have access to one.
Well, yeah. I mean, elven magic.
No, I was going to say more Druid. That's a Druid thing.
True.
Oh. Well, as interesting as all those stories are, maybe we can figure things out a little bit better.
Possibly,
I don't.
hopefully. With us being alive at the end of it, yes.
I would prefer that.
Considering the boss will be here in a couple of days, kind of need an answer for Bloodfang. Otherwise, yeah, he's gonna get his hands dirty.
Uh, so out of question, out of character question. Seer, Althir, blah 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 blah. All that fun jazz. Is that an elven name? I feel like it is.
I would say more of an Indian human, desert folk.
Return to Vale's capital and kill the High Seer. That's a human.
All right then. That's what we need to do. That's all we have to pull,
No,
right?
we still have to do the rest of it.
I mean, yes, we have to do the rest of it.
Well, my name's Larry, since you all introduced yourself and went on a rant.
Hi, Larry. Nice to meet you. I'm Sam.
There.
Hi, pleasure.
For now, hopefully.
Yeah,
Since it
mm,
seems like Estella and Sam is like taking care of most of the talking, Seven's going to go back into Chow Chow form, put all of his shit on, climb up on the table, and then sit in front of Sam.
Ash just looks at Seven. Yes.
I look at the 7 when he does this, and it's just like, your fur's a mess again.
And
Estella
then he's just
just
gonna respond with, then comb it.
Estella shakes her head and is just like, "This is fine."
Pulls out gear, starts grooming the 7.
and
Ash
the
just looks at
female
Seven
elf
and
is just staring at Seven with a big smile on her face. Where she's
Estella,
been very non-emotional or very just straight-faced secretary, and now her view went back to Seven again, and she's kind of got this like grin on her face.
Ash just goes into his bag and takes out. It goes into his rations and is like, well, I guess all I have is Die Hard, and he gives Seven some snacks to eat on.
He's gonna eat him.
Well then, Mr. Larry.
Just Larry, no Mister.
You sure?
Yeah, yeah, pretty sure.
Okay.
all right.
Well then, Larry, if your boss will be here in a few days, what do we do in the meantime? Do we wait?
Do we have to throw him in the barracks? It shouldn't be necessary, sir.
I mean,
Okay,
we
then
can
we'll just keep an eye on them. Yeah, that would be fine, sir. I volunteer to keep an eye on the dog and its owner. Well, of course, you can keep an eye on the druid. Seems appropriate. I'm fine with that. Just assign others to keep an eye on those two, and everything
Hi.
should be fine.
What's the worst that I can do? Oh wait,
Don't ask that question.
Don't worry, I'm a good
Go
person.
running out of the forest trying to escape, trigger one of the traps, and end up dead.
No, I was thinking more
Uh-huh.
of managing to find some sort of way to sleep with someone.
Well, you did have one guy propose to you already.
Well,
That
there's a bunch
is
of
true.
refugees. I mean, and some of the werewolves here, aren't exactly what's the term official? Hey, hey, hey! As he snaps his fingers in front of her, as she turns. Yes, sir. Pleasure later. Fun. No, wait. Work now. Pleasure later.
No, 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 no. I'm fine with the ladder. The ladder is always good time.
She's like, oh, what were you wanting, sir? Yes, this one seems to want companionship. Some of the werewolves are kind of into, yes, loose relationships, sir. Oh, right, yes. Okay, yeah, apparently the elves are more open. Well, honestly, what can you say about humans? Not much better. But yeah, so shouldn't be that hard for you to find someone to spend time with. Actually, make it easier for us to keep an eye on you, really.
How much of an eye do you wish? Wink.
Didn't know you were into necrophilia.
Larry just
Uh,
looks at you.
I'm
You're
gonna see if I
I'm
can
just gonna keep
embarrass him.
focusing on combing
probably
7.
about 50 years late, my dear.
Sam stops, looks at him.
Then
Only
again,
50?
I mean, I guess we could always do some modification, but she just keeps shaking her head. Um,
Estella
No.
is trying not to die with laughter.
That would be a no. Sorry.
No, 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 it's fine. I have not had a good laugh like that in too long, too long. At least a month.
Since before we took this job?
Well, if you're gonna ask me, I've got matters to see to before the big guy gets back, and I've got waiting for me in the other room. Not to mention, you gotta figure out what happened to the actual individuals that are supposed to be showing up here. Which point, a wolf comes running in injured, falls to the ground, and the elf goes running over to
Hold
the
on.
injured wolf and starts casting healing
Uh,
magic on him.
Michael, you kind of sounded robotic. I don't know
You're
if it's
starting to
just
get
me.
roboty, yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Yep.
Yep,
It's not me.
Or
Probably Discord.
probably. I
Most
think
likely.
it just cleared up.
That was just
Hello.
You guys are coming in clear. How about me now?
Yeah, you're
yeah,
clear
you're
now.
better.
clear now.
Weird.
Didn't do anything, but
Sam will
apparently it had a hiccup.
offer to heal the wolf as well.
Mhm.
Although
Ash
she's not
just a
going to
little.
approach because he doesn't know her and he might bite.
Which point the wolf shifts back into human form and is laying on the ground, injured, coughing up blood. He's got quite a few wounds. Larry's like, that would probably explain what happened to our group.
Does he need some extra healing? I can help.
Sh- Probably gonna need someone to show up. Looks to one of the big guys. He goes walking over and then gets all delicate with his hands, pulling out cloth, binding the wounds, using healing magics. Not something you'd expect of a muscle-bound bodybuilder type, and does a really good job. And then picks the guy up carefully and carries him naked and bound over to one of the beds around the hall for him to get rest.
Hey, not bad. Impressive act. Defying stereotypes.
At one point, he goes back and stands near Larry. She comes walking back over. She sort of like wipes her hands off the blood and everything after healing. Goes, he had this for you, sir. At which point, hands over a document from his mouth. He unrolls it, looks at. Well, boss is gonna be pissed. We just lost 3 guys. Apparently, they did a witch hunt. They tried to save too many people, and it was actually a trap. And all the villagers were hung. And apparently, our people are dead.
Ash
Wait,
just looks a
they
little bit
wiped
grit.
out an
His
entire
grimace.
village?
Ash looks like what is he said? What's wrong with these humans? They're not supposed to be like this. Nobody should be like this.
Well, you should blame the witch.
The
What
witch?
witch?
Basically, ever since she basically been causing trouble, yeah, it's kind of resulted in the humans basically chastising any woman who shows high enchantment abilities or can wave their hand and pull out magic from thin air and stab people with it.
Just,
What? Can we get some
You-
details on this witch?
yeah.
Uh, Probably 2 groves over and walk forest with monsters and sticking near some of the elven towns.
Is she bad? Good?
She's an elf, and the kingdom doesn't seem to have a problem with her. But the fact that she commits raids on the human kingdom and doesn't put up with their stuff, and that the humans would love to hang her and punish any elves because of it. But then again, they started it, and she's kind of fixed.
So
Moral
she's a
gray
freedom.
area.
So wait, she's a freedom fighter. Is what you're saying?
She does her own thing, really. She doesn't work for the kingdom. In fact, they don't even think she's from this continent. She just sort of showed up one day, started doing her own thing.
So
And
wait,
she can conjure things with out of nowhere, right?
That's what people say. Not that I've ever gotten close. Last guy I got near who put something up, stuck it through my chest, and I wound up like this.
Well, I mean,
At
like,
what point, Seven's actually going to turn his hand or head and stare at Sam?
Many of the people that have powers to conjure stuff and everything, I mean, few and far between the elven kingdoms, but some people have mental abilities. But some of the people are actually honored and lifted up as acolytes of the witch, is what they call themselves, because they have this power and they think that she granted it to them.
Ash just looks
It's just
over.
another form of magic. So, I mean, some people may be like happy, other people look at not so well, mostly
I'm
humans.
rather
Which,
curious
This
about
is coming
this.
from a dead human.
Ash
Yes,
looks over
yes.
at
I
Stella
don't
and just
hold the dead part against you.
Ash does look over at Estella and asks her, should we
I
chill?
mean,
Well,
I we I mm,
I mean, if
Sir,
we want to gain his trust, this could help.
Larry, I would be honest, I am quite interested in this individual.
Same.
me
Because,
too.
well, Estella and I guess we just show her. Show we
I,
Estella?
I
Well, the boss doesn't seem to mind her. Just tells us to leave it alone.
Wait, her or it?
or it.
I'm now confused.
It's a her, but he refers to it as an it. Apparently, they don't get along, but they do meet.
I'm more confused now.
So,
Is there
just barely.
anything notable about her so that if we saw her, we'd know who or what she
Yet
was?
again, pure rumors. Been in here for 50 years, helping druids.
Okay.
Anything,
Going off what I've heard.
any
Yeah, I can't
appearances
say
that
much.
you
I got
know,
shipped into this whole thing.
any notable appearances or traits that might help.
That's what I just asked.
She's supposedly dressed very elegantly, like an elf noble, and she's, of course, being called a witch, so female.
Female dresses well.
Yeah, nothing like seeing some supposedly red dressed, gold outfits and decoration woman walking through a forest with monsters and stuff around her and being able to create stuff out of thin air.
I might not be set
Okay.
dead.
Does she wield weapons or does she just conjure stuff?
Yet again, I don't get out much. I can,
Well,
I just too busy.
Okay,
Well,
that's
then,
fair. That's fair.
Ash
Because
just
we know
with this-
nothing,
The
and you.
assistant just sort of turns, goes, allegedly she can wrap her hand with a blade and can throw it and then bring up a new one from thin air, causing the other one
Danielle,
to disappear. Not to mention
Danielle,
she supposedly has powerful mental abilities to where if you meet eyes with her, she can charm you in an instant.
Estella eyes just light up with excitement.
I guess we could
She
just show. Yeah, go ahead.
she can summon a soul blade. That's a mind blade. That's fantastic.
It is because, well,
Mm.
let's just show him Estella.
Why do I have to?
I think we can show him. I mean, do you want me to show him by myself, or do you want to do it? Fine.
I think that we have taken up plenty of Larry's
Yep.
time, and as he stated, he's quite busy.
Yes.
At which point you see the mannequin sort of lose its appearance. It just sort of slumps over and he's already turned, walked through the back of the seat and just starts walking off. And the two big guys just sort of pick up the dummy and start carrying it off.
Yes.
Danielle just kind of is very ecstatic. I keep on
Those
calling her
ass-
Danielle.
I need spot checks from people.
Sure.
Are they going to kill me? Please don't kill me. I value my life.
That's a little spot.
Spot check. My horrible rolls. Hey, there we go. That's what I was expecting.
24.
Michael, I don't know what's going on. I'm rolling decently. I'm scared.
I rolled like I expected.
Don't worry, it won't last for long.
Oh.
Oh God.
Ow!
Truth.
Anyone with a 15 or above,
Negative.
which with
Nope.
the negatives, with Ash and Danielle talking, you still make. Those who made that see as the ghostly guys walking away, as conversation is just like you guys are just feeding free information. The system will take care of it. It doesn't pertain to him, and he's got a prior engagement. He goes walking off in ghost form, and you see around the corner a 7-foot tall, blackly dressed, sort of dripping, muddy clawed hand individual with a face mask sort of meet the individual around the corner. They sort of seem to exchange greetings, and then he goes around the corner with the individual.
Does this
Oh.
look like tall, dark, and creepy?
Creepy.
At which point the assistant then takes a seat in the chair, straightens her outfit, and just sort of looks at you guys as you continue talking.
Well,
Yeah, I guess
where
for once,
can we
Daniela,
set up?
Estella, and Ash are actually both fanning out over someone.
Yeah, just let them continue.
Fanning out. More of like holy shit, we're not going to be executed for our natural abilities.
Wait for it.
The world makes sense again.
And we just make it execute for a different reason.
Yeah, but they're both. Well, I'm sure she's fangirling, he's fanboy over this cool person, and
Alright, ignoring both them,
for
Sam
for
asked the
once,
secretary, so where
On behalf of
could we
Larry
stay?
and Bloodfang, I will be continuing the conversation with you. Feel free to continue to give any free information. Uh, Escorts will show up to keep an eye on you, and you're free allowed to travel around the premise. Any part where you see red berries and blue flowers would be the edge of the territory. If you go beyond that, you may set off some of the wards and traps, not to mention some of the animals may be out there hunting and you may put yourself at risk. Not to mention, as she just sort of licks her lips and shows her teeth, we may come hunting.
So,
uh,
question?
Sam,
Intriguing.
Seven's going to look over at Zambia like, is the treetops and the water available for us as well? Because I personally like to perch up in a tree sometimes.
Oh,
I
by all
will
means,
ask.
some of our people do.
My question is,
Sam just stops and is like,
Yes,
looks
Estella.
at her.
um, what type of currency is used here?
Um,
Or do you
continent
not?
uses the same currency overall, it's just stamped differently, but the money does in exchange. After all, there are merchants that have no problem making a buck, be it elf side or human.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Although, considering our little camp, we really don't have anything for you to buy.
No, I was just wondering if that was like a booze or something.
My good lady,
Yeah,
you apparently speak a great many languages. I'm intrigued.
it's why I'm here. Larry speaks about like one language.
Common?
So then
Yes,
I can speak to you without these other two idiots knowing?
I speak about two elemental languages. I speak Elven, Dwarven, the Common Tongue. I, of course, speak Druidic, as I am a Druid well versed. I even have had some research in some of the older tongues and one or two local tongues of some of the indigenous creatures.
Man, I really wish I could understand you guys. Uh, well, Sam and Seven. Because,
I can only speak common. As says, Kabu just kind of chuckles in his head.
really?
Then you and Larry have a lot in common, except for the fact that he's been dead
I
for
want to.
about 162 years.
I thought he said
I'll
50.
keep it that way.
He's a little forgetful. After all, he's about half the person he was after what happened to him.
Oof.
What happened to him?
He got he used to be a powerful wizard and fighter, and then he got into a battle against someone who was a lot more powerful and basically cut his soul in half
Ooh.
and
Wait,
bound him to the mortal world
Ow.
so
instead
he's
of
lost.
killing him.
What happened to his? What happened to the other half of his soul?
I think the guy ate it.
Eh.
Oof.
You know, there's one person that I wish I could eat their soul right now.
Somewhere in the afterlife, Takuma lets out a sneeze.
Probably.
You're probably not wrong.
Meanwhile, a couple hundred years in the future, as a ghost. Huh, that's weird.
I didn't know I could sneeze as a ghost.
Huh, I didn't know I could sneeze dead.
Hmm. Well,
Meanwhile, back in the
Interesting.
past, so, or the far past,
which one?
so I get to stay with the lovely one there and Sam, and then you two can have escorts. At which point, two females come walking up, loosely dressed, and sort of look at Ash. We'll keep an eye on him. Yeah, me and my sister will keep an eye on him.
Ash,
Oh!
We don't get to see
I
humans
just,
too often. This should be interesting to study.
Ash kind of blushers a lot, and then Kabu just says, "Well, I guess we'll be able to reproduce at some point then." Shut up.
Stella is laughing her ass off. It's
I don't
like,
know, for human, he's kind of cute. I don't know. What's with that short hair and the stubby face? It's just too round.
she is laughing even harder after hearing that. Oh gods, this is going to be a good show.
At
Well,
which point you get Estella gets a tap on the shoulder. The werewolf from earlier, just wearing like a loincloth, looks at you. So is now a good time?
I just bury my head in Seven's
The
side.
druids are sex addicts!
As he's basically kind of imagine Fabio as he just took a swim
Oh
and then
my-
slapped on a basically got a towel around him. Hi there. How can I help you? Now a good time?
Like I said, Sam just buries her head in Seven's side.
Stella is trying so hard not to burst out in laughter. Like, it's killing her almost.
Is there anything you'd like to see, lady?
Oh my god. And whatever
Sam
you
just
wanna
mutters
show
in
me.
Mascari while buried in Seven's side. I hope we get a chance to rest, and that they
At which point he'll just take
the
her by the
sounds
hand
don't disturb
and
us.
lead her up the steps to show her the top of the waterfall as it goes above the treetops and gives a perfect view of the starlit night out in the forest and the moon.
Oh gods, that's hilarious.
And then
Oh,
he'll set up
Probably.
there and talk about his old relationships and how they fell apart as he never made time for them, as he always spent his time working out or hunting, and that they didn't seem to appreciate him doing that.
Stella will explain her relationship issues with
About halfway
mostly.
through your conversation, he starts doing setups.
Oh god, he's a fitness nut.
Yeah, Ash does go off with, I guess, the two escorts, and he just like tries to make small talk, like, so, your elf, druids, werewolves, what's all this? And
What is this? Is this
Well,
a
she's a druid, and the other one's like, and I'm a werewolf.
But I heard that werewolves are supposed to be, no offense, bad, or those are just malicious rumors.
The one that's werewolf, oh, I can be as bad as you want. She's harmless.
Oh, good. Because again, no
Well,
offense to you, I just heard stories. Maybe just because humans are just trying to make werewolves look bad.
I don't know.
Oh.
Natural werewolves are usually tend to be very violent and evil creatures, and those inflicted with it usually tend to lose control themselves during the full moon. In the next 3 days, in fact, it'll be coming, and tend to go mad if they can't control themselves and kill anything around them. Friends, families, lovers, strangers, as they both go back and forth alternating.
oh,
At
I
which
think
point the
Ash
other
is gonna
sister,
get.
that's the druid, points over at her. She's afflicted.
I think Ash is fixing
At
to
which
get
point she
a
leans in close to your face and just smiles real big.
education.
So, what do you do when you, I guess what do you guys do here when you have to, can't control that urge anymore?
Well, she tends to sleep with anything that moves. I prefer to be more selective.
Oh man, Estella, I wish she was there. Oh,
Oh,
my god, she
God.
would be eating popcorn and
Oh my God, I
laughing.
just remembered something. I don't know how many of you've seen the anime Monster Musume, but there was a rule. There was one rule they say that you have to put the monster girls to sleep before a full moon because during a full
Oh
moon
yes,
they
I
get,
remember
Oh.
that.
they
No,
get
wait
to
a minute. If all of our characters are getting laid and we're not supposed to split the party, does that mean we're going to have an orgy?
You know what? That sounds like an excellent time. How many bets?
I'm
do
gonna
we need
ignore
to-
that rule of don't split the party.
yeah, they mentioned that they had to sleep early because the full moon will make them excited. This is all I can think of right now.
The
Poor
sisters will
Ash.
basically show you around the refugee camp and point out that they've saved or freed about 200 elves and about 50 half breed slaves. And that out of those numbers, they've been able to release about 100 of them. The other 100 they're keeping here for safety, helping them recover from traumatic experiences, torture, near-death experiences. They haven't been able to save everyone, and meantime, they've lost about 15 of their own people in the process. And that
Actually,
the numbers are basically around 50 and are now around about 35 or less.
wow. You all been through a lot, but you're saving these people. You're acting like real heroes. You know that.
Do what we can for our people, not to mention Bloodfang's hot. He's not hot, he's responsible. Now he's a leader. I hear he's actually human. Oh, don't spread rumors.
Who is this Bloodfang exactly? Anyways, I keep hearing his name.
He is impressive. He's terrifying, the other sister says. No, he's honorable. No, he's intimidating, as the other one responds. As you kind of get contradicting information. He's vicious. No, he's kind.
Certain
Can't
point
we
of
And
just
we
view.
tell
finally
her?
both respond, look at you. He's a good leader. They look at each other and smile.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's see. Ash just nods, smiles, just continues walking with them, trying to make small chat. Again, he kind of explains that where he is from, but missing out a lot of details, like he's from the future. Just that he was,
You're from overseas. You're not from around here. Just sort of dance around the subject.
yeah, he came from a desert town, and he grew up basically being inspired by a story of
Desert, is that
heroes.
like a beach but all over?
Yeah, yeah, it's something like that. There's barely any plants and just sand and more sand.
So a beach but without the calming breeze or of the ocean or the fish or the as the sister started naming off all kinds of other things that are beneficial to it.
Yeah, desert is basically is well, imagine.
Sand.
Yeah, it's just sand, pure sand. There are cactus sometimes though.
They both seem a little bored and sad. Like, wow, that's
That
Depressing.
sucks.
ah.
That sucks, yo.
They're
Well, at least
yeah,
you're not there anymore.
I kind of want to go back home though.
They
Why
just
would-
look at her.
Well, I mean, like that's my parents' home, but I actually live somewhere. I kind of
Oh.
moved out and moved somewhere else.
Honestly, that's exactly how Estella would react.
Why? I moved out. I live somewhere else, so that's not my home. Oh, okay.
I mean, it's nice to visit my
I
family
thought you were a
every once
madman
in a
for a
while.
moment.
You know,
So, meanwhile, Stella's going back and forth with the Musclehead as he points out several constellations, talks about the moon and how it'll be full in a couple of days, and that the werewolves will go on the hunt, and that he promises you to bring you back maybe a deer or maybe 3 rabbits as proof of his accomplishment.
Well, Estella will go on explaining how they would use the stars to sail around and explaining what's it like on the sea.
Oh,
Basically,
you've sailed too. Excellent. Myself included.
I'm impressed.
Nothing big, a boat on the lake or going up and down the river on a small raft.
That's what I
Anything
was
to
thinking.
practice my balance and also move supplies back and forth.
So freshwater sailing, right.
Is there a difference?
Yes, actually. Well, for one, you're not going to be able to sail around the landscape just to keep an eye on where you are. Second off, you're dealing with whole other mixtures of creatures, and there's just too many to name. You have no idea how many times I had to avoiding.
You love how big my forearm is? It's like massive. I could probably lift like a tree.
She kind of just blinks. Impressive.
I know, right?
Yes.
You see what I could
very
lift when I turn into a werewolf? Like
Uh,
double its strength. I could lift almost 2 trees.
I see that. Do you
I'm sorry,
understand?
you were saying something important? I got distracted by myself.
She kind of says, and Aquin, do you understand when I say this?
Oh, that's a pretty little language. Kind of sounds like
Alright.
you're blowing air out of your mouth.
She stands up, dusts herself off.
Oh,
I'm
we're going somewhere? He does a handstand and gets up.
All I can imagine him is doing like a little one of those doggy
He's a
poses
muscle
or
bro.
like
Yes, I'm going to go and set up my tent.
Allow me to help you, my lady.
No, it's quite alright. I'm used to doing everything on my own, and I prefer to do stuff on my own.
Okay, I'll stand by and watch. I'm good at that.
Alright.
That's what my last girl said.
Good. Good. Fucking narcissists. She'll say that in Erin as she walks away. Why can't it just.
It's like she's whistling. So cute. Like a little bird.
so. In other words, Ash was the one who got lucky.
Ash might indeed get lucky,
Well, just.
as well
Estella
as
never
educated.
Estella never gets a decent. She gets decent looking dudes, but at the same time, it's just like, why? This child.
All of them seem damaged in the head.
The body, yes. The mind,
Mike,
no.
Maybe
No,
that's like-
denied.
Oh wait a second, I just realized what it might be. This might be Doug reincarnated or a previous incarnation of Doug.
Previous incarnation of Doug.
God. You know, I think
Muscle Bro has its uses.
after she sets up her tent, she's going to go and talk to the secretary. Just talk.
At which point the guy's still outside, and 786 push-ups, 789. Secretary's just over there with Sam and Seven, which will jump back to them since you're going to go meet them of what they've been doing with her in tow. As you'll then slowly come to meet them. So pause a second and jumping around the table as you two are exchanging conversations. I see.
Yeah, which she probably understands because it is Imascari.
She's not versed on that old language, so no.
Okay.
So all your conversations are secret to her. She seems quite curious, but she doesn't get. Was there anything in particular you're looking for? You seem to be talking a lot. I hope you're not planning anything. I'd hate to have to remove your head and harm the beautiful beast.
Mainly planning on what to do with her time that we now have.
It should only be a day or two, or a week or two, depending on how long Bloodfang takes.
It's the week or two I'm worried about. We have a timeline we're supposed to adhere to. Last time we didn't. A few people ended up dead.
Well,
Apparently the
I'm sure
boss likes people being punctual.
and yet you haven't mentioned anything about him or these tasks, other than you're supposed to come here, but not for another year, and that you're doing all kinds of things on both sides of the borders. Which almost you
to
could
be
pass for
honest-
merchants if you didn't declare yourself mercenaries and didn't actually acted a little bit more intelligent.
Well, I have worked as a merchant many times. The one problem is to do it on the human side, you require apparently written approval, which is retarded in my opinion.
For most major activities, yes, they want to keep track of merchants and be able to tax them and such.
Yeah.
It's kind of true here for the elven side
You're
too.
about getting ice cream.
Oh, great. So that means I can't do that either.
Not without proper paperwork that you'd have to buy and wait for, yes.
And is there any problem with using currency from the central continent here?
Money's money.
Okay, praise Morden for that at least.
I mean, worst case, someone may ask questions of where you got it from or where you traveled from. If they think you're a spy, considering that you're human, you don't have merchant paperwork, they may take you in for questioning.
Great. More
All
problems.
you gotta do is just tell what you usually do, which is spill everything you know. They'll either
Oh,
lock you up
believe
in
me,
loony
there's a
bin, or
lot
they'll
I
just
have
you
not
executed,
told you.
'cause they don't know what to do with you.
There's a lot I haven't told you, and a lot I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, excellent. Then
Telling
I'll go
you
ahead
I
and
have a
let my
job
big
to do.
secret slip if you let your big secret slip.
Yeah. Sure, like that's gonna happen.
Okay, then you don't get to hear mine. Your loss.
I'm
Really a human.
not so sure about that.
As she leans over and sort of like whispers in your ear, you'd like it.
I'm both curious and worried. Hmm. I'd probably get in trouble if I said that one. Definitely get in trouble if I said that one. Looks at Seven. You know, I remember what you told me last time. I'm better off keeping my mouth shut.
Seven's just gonna wag his tail.
Being petted by the love of my life.
So,
If
anything
Seven had his
else?
way, they'd be doing a lot more than that.
Oh, I know. I know. If you want, you can
Yeah.
rent out my tent.
So, where is a place that we could stay? I'm assuming you
Set
don't
up
want us just
near the
sleeping in random
refugee camp.
locations.
We have a couple of little areas that we've hauled outside this cave system to where you can set you up with a decent enough bed, lantern light, fresh air, and other such.
I would take you
If
up
you don't
on
want
that
to sleep in the
offer.
cave, you can sleep outside. Like I said, we can arrange a tent or you can just rough it.
I will take you up on the offer of a bed.
Excellent. If you'll follow me, please.
Certainly.
Which point she will lead you deeper down into the cave system as there is steps basically heading just about every direction. One heading up to the west, one heading down to the south, one two a double set that intertwines almost like a spiral staircase headed upward, and then basically almost like a trap door consisting of giant metal bindings and a pulley system to open it. It looks like it would take two people to work. And then she leads you on down the hall past that, at which point you catch a glimpse of Larry talking with the tall fellow at a table. As Larry's pretending to set, and the tall individual sit at the table, and they seem to be discussing what looks like in a war room maps and documents. And you notice off in the corner a large sort of black box with markings on it.
Uh, can I note anything about the box?
It's similar to the one that you got little Buddy from.
Ooh. Little buddy, are you in there?
Nope. I can't tell anything about the markings.
Nope. Not able to make out the symbol on it.
Hold on, I was getting a piece of dental floss stuck or unstuck from my teeth.
No, I rolled a 5 on my spot. I didn't.
Oh, I rolled a 1.
Oh.
We do not know what the symbol on the box is. Denied.
Nope. Don't know. You see a black crate with like white markings on it, and you see the big, tall individual, which seems to have like liquid oozing from his eyes and mouth slit, and his clawed hands seem to have like mud caked on as he's dressed in black, like funeral robes,
Creepy.
and they seem to be discussing things. Which points like further this way. All right, and over here is the living quarters. This section to the west is empty, so you can partake of any of the 4 available rooms in this little cove.
Excellent.
They have only basic amenities, so I'm sorry if it's not a proper standard. Which, when you walk into the room, it's nicer than most of the inns you've stayed in. It's a little backwards, as there's like a fruit bowl, there's a hardwood table, there's nice cut chairs, there's a full bed with 2 sets of blankets, there's 2 oil lamps, there's some fungus on the wall. It seems to glow ever so dimly. There's a bath, there's a restroom. There's a lot of stuff here. There's even a dresser.
As Sam looks around, it's perfect.
Excellent. I'll take the one across the hall so I can keep an eye on you.
Sure.
Which point she just literally turns to the doorway and lays down on the floor like an animal and just sort of like stares across the hall at you.
Is there a door, Michael?
There's no door.
I didn't think there was. Looks
That
down
was a
at
good
Seven.
question. I was wondering if you're going to ask.
Yeah. Looks down at Seven. You had a bath recently. I haven't. I'm going first.
Can I watch?
It just. And Sam just like stop, screeches to a halt, looks back. Okay.
Good enough for
At which point the female will kind of stand up from across the hall, the receptionist, and sort of be like, "What now?"
Sam sticks her head out. I'm going to take a bath. Pulls her head back in.
Uh, I'll respect your privacy and stay here, despite how curious I might be.
Thank you.
me.
So Sam will get cleaned up and actually have a bath for the first time in,
A while.
oh, quite a while.
Actually, everyone should needs a bath.
Well, Seven at least took a swim through the river, the creek, stream, whatever you want to call that thing.
Yeah. And then at which point, fast forward a little bit with that, and
Yep.
coming back out.
I will be identifying all the magic items once done bathing and cleaned up, and maintaining gear, equipment.
As you're basically setting up the table in the doorway, the librarian's acting, the lady's kind of acting a little bit odd in the hallway. As she's kind of sitting on the ground, legs tucked underneath her, her back's up against one of the door frames, and she's just running her finger up and down her chest. And just sort of looks over in your direction, just sort of smiles. And with her other hand, she's just like playing with her hair, just twirling a little bit.
Mainly focus on maintaining gear, checking the new items with a monocle. And then if she continues with this nonsense, Sam will ask out while working on her stuff, is there something I might be able to help with?
No, you didn't want to know secrets or exchange, so you're just got to stay in the dark.
Well, that's fair. I mean, you're not volunteering any information for trade either.
It's okay. I like to watch. I'm very patient.
Yeah, so am I.
I like to watch. That sounds kind of creepy.
It does sound creepy. Out of character. It is definitely creepy, but I don't think she's any more patient than Sam.
At which point, time will get done. You'll be able to go through the identifying. At which point, Estella will get her way down the hall and come around the corner, navigate through, bump into a couple of wolves or maybe people as wolves, hard to tell, a couple of our druids, and we'll eventually get pointed to the direction of, oh, we saw, oh, who are you looking for? Yeah, we don't know. Oh, are those some of the people who came with? Yeah, we saw them with the secretary. Uh, that way, and then take a left, but don't take a right. You don't want to take a right. Yeah, don't take a right. At which point you'll follow the directions. You'll take the left, and there's a little rounded kind of like cul-de-sac with four open doorways, and sitting in one of the doorways is the secretary asking acting less like herself, all strict and stern, sitting with her legs folded underneath her on the ground, running her finger up and down her chest, and twirling her hair, looking across the hall. As you walk closer up, you look in the room, and there's Sam basically putting away equipment, and Seven in the room.
Seven would actually growl once he heard somebody heading towards the area as he was just laying down on the ground, sprawled out.
As you growl, she just sort of like lays down, stop playing with her hair and everything. It's like, it's okay. It's one of yours.
Hi.
At
Everything.
that point, he just minds his own business.
She'll
Oh, it's
stand
just-
up, dust herself off and everything, straighten her dress, button it back up the rest of the way. You're like, your associates are inside, at least two of them.
Thank you, ma'am, but may I was hoping to talk to you? in private, looking at her escort.
She just sort of waves him off. The big guy just turns and just walks off. It's like, come into, well, this room. You two, no trouble or try anything. Why, whatever this is.
Not even hardly paying attention, so I wave her off.
Uh,
Go into the room. She offers you a chair. She takes a seat, all prim and proper, acting more like previously.
uh,
And an Elvin, yes, how can I assist you?
she would respond in Elven, mostly like kind of semi out of concern. Um, I noticed you were acting a little off earlier. Are you alright?
I don't know what you mean. What were you talking about?
You were playing with your hair and you were exposing your chest a bit.
Doesn't sound like me. Maybe you were imagining it. If I was doing something, it would just be for other reasons. I mean, it does get a little hot down here, which it's actually damp and cool, and there's actually surprisingly a little bit of a breeze. So, probably lying?
Raise his eyebrow.
Sense motive.
Yeah, no, I believe her.
With her horrible bluff and negatives, yeah, no, she's full of it. Sure, sure. If you want to play games, honey.
Sure, sweetheart, sure.
Sure,
Right back.
keep saying.
That's one nice dog you travel with, and even more interesting person. And
Yeah,
are the two of them together or
yes,
something?
they are.
Interesting. How
I'm
would they feel about
guess.
a third?
Uh, the last time this happened, the person that we killed, he was the one that got involved with the dog. Um, it didn't end well.
I can be very accommodating. Also, I mean, if
Well, you also gotta
things go
keep.
bad for you guys, maybe I can give them a reason to keep you alive.
Why do I always get stuck with explaining relationships? She'll be like mumbling under her breath. All right. Sure.
I mean,
It's not
what do you think my chances are with Sam, honestly?
with Sam. With Sam.
Yes. Who would I else be interested in? The Druid's obviously taken, but I mean, it doesn't seem to be that attached to her and seems to be pretty easygoing with matters. Actually, seemed to be kind of interested in me, so I figured, I stood a chance with both of them.
Oh my god.
I. She just kind of like closes her mouth and like presses her hands kind of in that like thinking
Is it
position.
thing that bothers you, dear?
It does not
I
bother
mean, did
me.
I offend you? I mean,
No,
I didn't think you were that interested in me.
no, 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 no.
I mean, if you want, I mean, I can definitely go that way. I'm not. I mean, it's perfectly fine. I do
Well,
find you
technically,
attractive.
I mean, like, I mean,
I mean, you're
technically,
very beautiful. I'm sure you can do quite a few things with yourself.
I, you are not wrong at all. It's.
Ooh. Would you like to trade secrets?
Oh God. Um, she raises an elbow. I meant not elbow, but
An
eyebrow.
elbow.
Let's do a little dance. I'm sorry, but she raises an eyebrow. What kind of secrets?
You tell me yours, I'll tell you mine.
Uh, if I get emotional, like my eyes change colors. It's really aggravating.
Okay, that's not exactly what I was expecting, but she leans in, closes her eyes, open them, they're blue, closes them. Opens them, they're green again.
Uh,
Kind of like that, sweetie.
more like uh, her angry eyes, like pure black abyss that she usually gets when pissed off.
At which point, it's kind of like looking in a mirror as her eyes mimic it and go pure black also.
Excuse me for a minute.
Her eyes shift back. Oh, by all means.
No. She's just kind of like thinking mostly on did she manage to run into another one? Uh,
You seem
uh
bothered. Did I scare you?
no
I can help
no
you
no
relax.
no. I was wondering, is is that thing with your druid aspects or something else?
That would be a secret. If I recall, we're changing one for one. So you
Uh,
first. You show me yours, I'll show you mine. I'll show you a lot of mine.
That sounds dirty.
it
That's
sounds
how she
very
means it.
dirty. It sounds very dirty, and she's very.
Apparently, she's not a sweet girl when she's alone with people.
She's thinking. She's really trying to like figure things out. It's like I know something's going on. I don't know what, but I know something. Hmm.
Well, you probably need to rest for the night. You seem flustered. I'll come and check on you later. I'll put a guard on the door. By the way, girl secret. And then she'll just sort of leave and be all proper and step out and call one of the guys over at Druid to watch and just head
Please,
off to go see matters.
competent one, competent one, competent one.
Which point, guy dressed in plain clothes, looks like an elf. Just
Oh
like,
my god, thank you.
please don't do anything. I'd just like to get through the night shift easy.
Trust me, you won't. The muscle head was enough. Not as in that manner, more of irritating.
You guys are going to make this difficult for me, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
At which point, night will carry on. Unfortunately, the girls will eventually have to take shifts since they have work to do. So you'll wind up with one for half the night and the other one for the other half of the night, as they'll just ask you a lot of questions about human living and all kinds of other questions about where you come from. And they seem to be bored with most of your answers.
Ash tries to explain, like, yeah, I mean, we're not elves. I mean, what do you expect from us?
And that's when you wind up asking the changeling.
No, it's not about being an elf, sweetie. Well, I mean,
It's a desert.
you live in a big city that's crowded and sounds very annoying and doesn't have a lot of animals, or you live out in the middle of nowhere, which has very limited animals and trees. Different culture. We don't, I mean, I guess we were hoping to hear stories about maybe snow and large trees or deep valleys, all kinds of animals and creatures you've seen. I mean, you're
Ash
still
can
kind of cute and interesting yourself, and that little gem that you have on your hand is very decorative.
Yes, it's just decorative. Oh, you fools.
Ash says, well, honestly, I do want to travel as most because I wanted to live out like my heroes, but hey, it's just been a rough time for me.
Heroes?
Oh, I am.
What kind of heroes? No, you can't be talking about elven heroes. No, no.
Well, maybe one of them was an elf.
Hmm.
There's no really telling of who he was, and he starts going into details. I forgot the name, but you know the hero I'm talking about, Mike. And the way he describes him is very, very elf-like. Maybe some kind of druidic barbarian elf who wants to do things for the glory of nature.
They try to listen attentively, but they seem rather puzzled, at which point they look at each other. They smile real big, and then all of a sudden they sort of get a frown face like, yeah, we don't know who you're talking about. Sorry. Doesn't sound familiar at all.
Okay. It's just he's where I'm from. He's actually very well. He's very well respected. I mean,
Well,
that
if it's
must count for
from a big
something.
city or something, probably don't hear too much about it out in the forest. And also, you're from a different continent, so I mean, do you know? If we started naming a bunch of heroes from around here, you probably wouldn't know them too well either. So
Uh, Maybe I might. Here, history rolls
we're
don't fail me now.
we're elves, and we live long lives, so it may have been a long time before you. I mean, just telling you about our grandparents would probably be different.
Okay, let's do a history check to see if Ash might know about a hero from their time. Do age knowledge history don't fail me now.
I was gonna say if you flip the roll, it's
Oh, what
going
do
to
you
be
know? He
appropriate.
actually might have. He might actually recite a hero from their time.
My God, does he know things? Can he impress the girls and not lose them?
I don't know. He's gonna try harder.
You know bits and pieces about maybe one or two, like a high noble mage who worked in the court system about, let's see, this time frame, possibly around here or maybe a generation before. And then you heard about this king from like several hundred years ago, although they start correcting you on a few things that you get wrong. But you do seem to keep their attention before they have to swap shifts again and come and go. And then, of course, you have to sleep for the night and everything,
Yep.
Come
and
Although
then
and
Kabuki
meditate.
say like, don't waste his opportunity. I'm not listening to you, Bug. Don't waste his opportunity. Ash.
so, um, when her 2 hours of sleep are up, she's probably just gonna wander around at night. I guess.
Whoops, wrong
Right.
button.
Hello? Oh, hey. Yeah, Ash will eventually just go sleep for the rest of the night.
Sam will sleep as normal.
hmm You'll do
Curls
your
up
you'll
with the
do your
7.
trance. Everybody else will sleep and so forth. At which point, next day will come,
Set spells as normal.
and you guys will spend another day in the past.
Um,
As day will go by, unless you have any questions, as you guys will be able to meet back up. Everything as the druids seem to be coming and going along with animals from the cave. They seem to go out to hunt, bring back food for the refugees, in addition to what they can magic up. They seem to have a whole lot of crops they seem to bring in, different types of vegetables and such, what they do, large stews for the refugees and everything. Asking around, you find out they actually have quite a bit of farmland not far from here, and they're experts at agriculture.
interesting. Well, aside from identifying the magic items that we got and splitting those up amongst the party, I think the only thing I had was maybe a scroll. Hmm. Do I have any scrolls to make? I have scrolls I can make. Nothing really specific unless they have stuff for sale or trade.
Yeah, you're kind of prisoners, so they're not going to really do any trading or selling with you.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
At least not yet.
Not yet, yeah.
I was gonna say the other thing I was gonna ask is, do they have a forge she can use?
Actually, can we sell the other two party members for our lives?
Hey!
Hey,
In
that's
the human
rude.
kingdom, you probably could have Lawrence.
Damn it!
Can we sell the dog in the human kingdom?
Oi! We
Probably.
are not selling Seven, and we are not being sold.
No
I know
selling
we're not,
party
but since you want to
members.
sell us, it's only fair to ask.
Although I think it's funny because if you stick Sam in magical bindings, within 24 hours, she gets out of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Who
just went
sells?
through that earlier, Michael. It's just like, huh. It's not a
All,
spell. It's not arcane. She just
all,
does
we,
it.
all we had to do is sell 7, have her escape, then pretend to die, have her escape, then sell her again, and we'll make a fortune.
Yeah, I don't think that's how it works.
They don't have a forge, although they did make mention that they had a blacksmith.
I have blacksmith but no forge. How does that work?
Magic.
She will inquire about this because now she is confused and wants to know.
You'll ask around, and refugees don't know anything about that. They seem a little bothered that you appear to be human and that you are. Uh,
Well, Michael, I can adjust the hat disguise as appropriate.
Fair enough. Talking to the werewolves and other individuals that you met with earlier, they just seem to not really pay it much mind. It's like, yeah, it just is. Like, well, how? Never really asked. Just we get stuff made and it shows up and it's here. What we need is provided.
So it's
But
not.
Fang just makes it happen. He
So the
says it
guy's
comes
not
from the
here.
blacksmith.
So the blacksmith's not actually here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think so. Never seen a blacksmith.
New plan. She's gonna try to find this blacksmith now.
You'll basically bump into everyone, but you never find a blacksmith. You never find a workshop short of pretty much cloth work and other basic things like fishing and so forth, but nothing related to metalworking.
All right. Well, that just means whatever is done is not done here.
And at which point you'll see at the basically from the back of the cave they bring up new crate arrived. At which point they'll open up and there's 5 suits of metal armor. There's 6 long swords. There's bows. There's 100 arrows. Then the next crate has more arrows, some alchemical goods. The next one is a large box, and when they crack it open, there's a black box inside with markings, and they take it over to the previous hallway where you saw the black box before, and they just put it in the corner and just ignore it.
Uh, this time, can I see any details on the black box?
You can, as they don't really shoo you away. They just sort of take the stuff and put it over in the corner near the entrance behind the wall.
Do I recognize the emblem at all?
You do notice the black crate is very familiar, and looking over it does have white markings and letters on it, a W and a C laid over each other. Very similar to the one that, wait, in the when you were attacking the shore, before the crab, you found that giant spider in one with instructions. Little buddy, what?
7 would have gone along with Sam for this.
I'm
He's
assuming
gonna.
you're all together unless you branch
Yeah.
off. No one
Okay.
said, but yes.
Do
Sure.
you still have that paper with little Butty instructions?
Digs in bag, pulls out paper.
Do you think we could possibly use this to our advantage?
I have absolutely no idea.
Because we obviously work with these people just in the future.
But that's even more worrisome.
At which point the secretary comes walking up. Morning, all.
Morning.
Can
So,
I help you? I see you seem to be enjoying what limited access you have to our supplies and deliveries.
yes. I'm curious about the blacksmith. There is one, but there's no shop, no forge, no nothing here, so I'm assuming it's not done here?
Correct.
Nuts!
One thing I'm going to have to ask, since it hasn't come up yet, for the druid in the party to roll me a wisdom check. Please.
Oh, for
As
fuck's
it's come
sake.
up twice now, and it raises questions.
Right. The druid needs to roll. Wisdom.
It does, because the druid would know this.
Dost
Um,
thou the druid knoweth?
Does, with that wisdom check, excels at it. The light bulb finally goes off the next day. I guess you're not too concerned about your life anymore. And you realize everything they make here is cloth or wooden and such, but they're getting in tons of metal armor and metal weapons. Druids can't use that stuff without basically losing their spells. So who the hell is the equipment for? So not giving it to the refugees.
Uh, Seven's gonna bring it up to Sam and tell her to ask her who this equipment is for.
And it's not elven made equipment either. Sam can do that. I don't need you to make a check. I looked at your craft.
You looked at my craft numbers?
Like looking at your weapon crafting and armor. Nah, you're not gonna have a problem hitting a 10 and going, that's not elf craft.
My base roll is like untrained a 4. With weapon, it's a 13.
Yeah.
Sam will ask if she can look at one of the swords. She's curious about the make.
Secretary will motion one of the guys to bring a long sword over, and he will sort of reluctantly hand it over to Sam and take a step back.
I will thoroughly examine it, checking quality, make, looking for maker's marks, and seeing if this seems familiar to others that I may have encountered from the guilds.
Search check and craft check.
There's the craft check.
It's a Killian.
There's the craft check.
Sweet
Search.
Jesus, 31.
Ha!
Search.
I may know it.
You definitely are thorough in the investigation of the weapon. Despite all your crafting knowledge and search and check for maker's marks or other dents or something familiarity to it, these weapons are obviously magical. They possess magical markings for runes for imbuement. As for the quality of craft, it's of high quality, very stern weaponry, but it puzzles you and actually takes you a moment to try to go through in your head because there's no distinguishing features on the weaponry. It doesn't have the markings like a dwarf has worked it, doesn't have markings like an elf has worked it. It's not human craft. It's very generic, like bland. It's hard to piece it down. I need a knowledge arcana.
Knowledge arcana.
You think these weapons were magically sculpted and then imbued, and that the individual just did almost like a base mold with no intention of any particular craft skill. Thus, there isn't that hand of an elf on it or that dwarven finish.
So, in other words, they were just formed with
Mass
magic and then
produced.
enchanted.
Yeah. Almost like putting it in a generic mold, just mass produced. So magically shaped and then imbued. Which, if it was done by a wizard, it would be basic form and function. Is it weight balanced? Can it be used? Is it durable? Done. On to next.
In other words, this was made by someone who knows swords and has the magical ability to do this and then enchant.
Yes, but doesn't have an actual crafter's hand or enough skill to possibly do it, or maybe intentionally left it simple on purpose. Difficulty to say there. If they're that skilled and they left it generic just for mass production, or if they don't have that crafter's touch to add a little bit of flair or that sort of maker's mark or hands of a dwarf on it. You could tell. So you're possibly looking at a wizard with lack of crafting knowledge or a really good crafter who wanted to keep it somewhat humanish, bland, and just doesn't leave any features on it. Basically almost untraceable.
So it's a wizard pumping out a... Interesting.
So raises more questions.
I will hand the sword back.
You will sheath it and put it back behind the wall.
I am very curious as to who the swordsmith is for all this. Is your
She just
sword
remarks with a raised eyebrow, cocks her head. The blacksmith.
a blacksmith made all this?
The blacksmith.
The blacksmith.
I think we only have one.
I would be very interested in meeting said blacksmith. If possible. I think there's much I could learn from them.
Sorry, I can't help there. I don't have that information or clearance.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I have no doubt said blacksmith would not agree to the meeting.
Can't say. I don't have that information. At which point, Larry comes walking down the hall, and what you assume is probably his fake body as you actually hear footsteps. His voice like, "Morning, all.
Morning, Larry.
How's our guest doing? No attempts at jailbreaking, no missing limbs, so looks like you're doing pretty good. Well, I gotta be in another meeting, so pleasure seeing y'all. Busy man, even when dead. Lucky me." And he just starts walking off.
You know, the bad part about being in charge of undead is the fact that because you don't have to sleep means you just have to work more. Good luck.
So, since Sam didn't iterate her question,
Oh, she's not going to say shit in public in front of this woman.
Seven will, so he's going to swift form and ask her himself.
That is a lovely body you have. How can I help you?
You're getting in all of this armor, but this is a place of druids who can't use metal armor.
Bringing it to the attention of everyone present.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
At which point, she just sort of looks at you and smiles ever so deviously.
I forgot about that.
You noticed. And?
He's just going to motion to the fact that he is wearing leather armor.
Oh. Well, I mean, if you want a pair of metal, you can. I just wouldn't recommend it. But, it's not for us. We're just moving it along.
Oh,
So
okay.
just kind of puts a hand
And
to
she
her
said,
head.
we're not going to use it, and we're not really giving it to the refugees. After all, we're not trying to turn them into militia and turn villagers into soldiers just to go back over to human territory and get tortured or killed. We're druids, we're not monsters, even though we can turn into them.
I'm going to sense motive because that seems like a very Seven thing to do.
Oh no, what if she's Seven's ancestor?
Possible.
She's definitely hiding something, but for the most part, she doesn't give it to the villagers, you believe, and they're obviously not using them. So the question is who's using it and what is she telling you?
Seven's just going to cross his arms like a fucking 14-year-old and then go, uh-huh.
I am angsty. Is
No, she's bitey. Get it right.
Did you want to go for a walk? We
I
can
mean,
go for a walk if you want. We can spend a little time in the grove. I know a beautiful spot that would be alone.
I would rather Sam come along for that, but yes.
Me too, as her eyes get big.
Oh,
As she
God.
responds in Druid to you.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Sam's just looking between the two. I was like, what?
Seven's just going to wrap his arm around Sam and then motion for the other female to go on.
Sam's now looking very
A little bit
confused.
of stern face. I can wait.
Oh, this is gonna be.
No, you can go to grow.
Is there anything else I can do for you? Apparently, I've been rejected. I will move on. The 7-foot claw, sharp teeth lady.
Michael, are you rebutting? Is anybody?
Discord again.
Discord being
Hello?
weird.
Can you hear me?
Stand by. Give it a moment.
Hello.
Beep boop bop.
Discord, you're very annoying when you do this. Okay, looks like everybody's back. Heard a click. Suspenseful silence
Silence.
is golden.
Yes.
Huh.
Mhm.
I don't have these dated. Why do I not have
That's
these?
See any better now?
Yes.
Yay.
We can hear the Michael.
Okay, here we go.
So what was the last thing you guys did here? You were
Something
putting your
about her.
arms around her, and then her responding that she got rejected, and that she could be the bigger woman, the 7 foot tall with claws and sharp teeth woman, and ask if anyone else needs anything. Looking over at Estella and Ash.
Hmm.
Do you wish me to accompany you or something, then?
Only if you're interested, and you want to exchange secrets.
Am I doing this again? Sure.
I guess I could come along. There's nothing much to do here.
She kind of arches a brow at Ash. Don't you have two wonderful elves to keep you company, boy?
I haven't seen them after last night.
All right.
Oh, you mean the sisters? Oh, they're married.
To each other? Or...
Oh, they both have
Oh,
husbands.
I see. Oh, right. I forgot about that. That was I'm sorry. I'm used to more lucid interpretations. Then again, you know, sailor.
No,
So,
there's nothing wrong with
okay.
them having a little fun.
No, mostly just curiosity.
Yeah, I mean, I guess humans have certain aspects which are slightly different than elves, which could be interesting. As she just sort of looks Ash up and down as if she was examining a box.
Ash just basically shrugs like saying, I have no problem with whatever they're into.
Ah, yes.
Kind of kind of open for a human, surprisingly. Quote
everyone
unquote
has
human.
everyone has their type, right?
Hmm. I just stick away from them for the next couple of days. They can tend to get a little aggressive during the full moon,
All right.
I'm not entirely
unless
sure what
you
this
have some
conversation's
healing
about.
magic nearby.
Ooh, that does not sound like a good time.
No, it does not.
Not entirely sure what the conversation is about. I'm not sure I want to know. Well, if there isn't a other pressing matter, I believe I still have some work to do.
Okay. If you are free to move about, the escorts will keep tabs on you and follow you around. I probably need to get with Larry and see about other matters going on. And Bloodfang should be here in the morning.
Ah, all right.
Finally got a
Fantastic.
message from him, so we've replied back and informed of the situation. And he's found it quite interesting. He said he would address it personally.
Hmm.
At which point she just excuses herself and heads off down the hall.
Well, Seven, since you're interested in a walk, it seems, why don't we go for a walk?
Okay, and then Seven proceeds to do what Seven typically does. He's about to shape change, and then shape change.
I need a spot check for everyone.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Spot.
Grapple.
I gotta find that.
Why?
That's
I
kind of
might
okay.
actually make it.
No, 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 no. I got 13 twice.
And
That's not a good sign. Didn't you get also
Well,
213s on Monday game?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she did.
lucky numbers. Thankfully, it's enough for all of you to beat the 11 that the other target had by rolling a 6. As she turns and walks away and starts heading away from you guys, and you're about to break up, you see her shadow moving away, but you see her shadow still on the wall, at which point it turns and walks the opposite direction.
As she turns and looks at Estella and just points where the shadow was without saying a word, just making a shocked expression.
She had two shadows, and one got up and walked the other way.
Man, if we weren't trying to be friendly, Seven would be headbutting a wall right now.
Oh, where's a friendly neighborhood fireball when you need one? Why couldn't some
You got
human
one on
mages
that
just be
wand.
stupid, attack the camp, and we just have to kill somebody? Make it simple.
Because you guys killed Lawrence and went along with these people.
Seemed like the best idea at the time.
One of the better ones.
Lawrence was a dick. He deserved to die.
He was an
Just
asshole.
because if
Exactly.
you guys had done nothing, he probably would have killed you when he got to town.
I was kind of expecting that, honestly.
Well, no, just Lydia's character, because he thought it would make Seven happy.
Probably thinking of getting rid of Sam too because she's too much in control.
No, remember they had a deal. You can use me as much you want. In exchange, I get to use her, or I spend time with her, or we get to have fun doing stuff.
Yeah. I was kind of waiting till he tried to change the deal.
Well, if you start getting in the way of him spending private alone time with Seven,
Which I
then
might have.
he may have had the family deal with you, and being in town, he'd have a lot of power to try to arrange that.
Honestly, I just want to get out of town, get on the boat, get to the capital so we get the job rolling.
Yep.
Not get even further away from the damn place.
You're supposed to go to A to point B, not point E and hang out for a while at the Druid camp. What the hell,
Unless they
people?
can expedite us back to where we need to go, if they can get us close to the capital, we can walk the rest of the way. It'd be fine.
It's fine.
No, it's
And
not.
to be fair, we all don't even know if we're going to survive tomorrow or not.
We will.
I mean,
You say that, but
Yeah, and I'd be explaining a few things to Seven as the walk as to why I think we're gonna live through this. Because Sam's gonna reveal to Seven that that's the same box that little buddy came out of, which means that's the same supplies that were shipped with us to the island, which means they have a similar source. And the supplies for the expedition all came from the guilds and maybe some from the patron.
Oh, you're
So
And
kidding.
we know he's already active here. Oh, and those swords and armor that they were delivered, at least the swords, they're all magically enchanted. They're all made with magic, not through conventional forging. And from the looks of it, they're either made by somebody who doesn't know how to make a sword and just copying, or they're made by a master who is deliberately making them so generic nobody can figure out where they're from.
So,
So
in
then,
other,
all we would have to do is simply prove that we are somehow with the patron that these people work for?
Exactly, and we actually have it.
wait, we have evidence?
Of course.
Is it
so,
the paper came with no seal?
so in other words,
Oh,
this
it did
place
come with a
is linked
seal, just not
So-
on the paper.
So this place is linked to us in some ways in the future,
Oh,
and
The armor, all the weaponry, it's in preparation for the war, probably.
She was definitely hiding something from us when I brought it up, but I do believe she's not going to arm simple villagers. That much I do have to say.
Estella is just taking out her flask and
So I
drinking
think
it.
she's simply just trying to not have to tell us in case we are spies, but honestly, we.
this is just
Yeah.
more. Aja says that this is more time traveling, complicated crap, isn't it?
No, Ash, it's a party.
So, Sam, what happens if us being early has caused a problem due to the fact that we were supposed to actually come as backup for things in a year?
Well, technically we're not at the right spot apparently, so shouldn't matter too much.
True.
Because normally we'd get the instructions for where to go from step 3, which will tell us where in the kingdom we need to go for number 4. But in the meantime,
But
we
what
still
if,
haven't made it to number 1.
yeah, I was about to ask, what about steps 1 and 2? Aren't they important?
Yes, which we haven't been able to do yet.
As you guys are standing over in like a little side corner as they're offloading the supplies and people are walking and talking, you see Larry come walking back by with the secretary, an undead elf that's dressed like a noble, and the tall, dark, creepy thing about a 5 foot toe behind them.
Oh no 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 no
As
no.
Larry's basically explaining things to him, and we have supplies, and we have the villagers that we have rescued. If you could return them to their home, that'd be excellent. The undead just sort of nods. And we're also addressing these concerns as appropriate. We're also supplying you the funds as promised for the deal. The secretary hands over like a document to him. The dark thing just basically like rubs its hands together and just falls behind him, not saying anything
So
or
so
looking at you.
I have I have dubbed the gentleman that looks like T-Dak
All dark and silent.
Tack. Tack. I've named him
Tall and
Tack.
creepy?
Yes.
I prefer silent, so Taz.
I mean,
Sack,
the guy's
silent and creepy.
oozing shit.
Slimy
he's
and
like-
creepy.
Mm. Tasma?
Some kind of black liquid or ichor that's like molasses almost. And
I'll
dirt.
keep working on this.
Yeah, once we know a little bit more, you can get a good name for him.
But they just proceed on past you, just sort of not paying you too much mind. Larry will just point at you guys at one moment while the other three pretty much ignore you. It's like, and these are some people we ran across, and over here you can see the swords as they had been requested by the blacksmith. You'll find they're of adequate quality.
Michael, I have to stop you there.
Mhm.
Seven is gonna try to get a sniff on Mr. Slime Ball.
Oh, there we go.
Silent and
Slime
slimy. Silent and
Slime ball.
slimy.
You'll walk over and give a sniff of his robe and such.
Yes.
It will basically stop dead in its tracks, just sort of look down at the dog, and basically like shrink in size to about half its size. And underneath its robe, basically extend a hand with basically gnarled claws of black, almost like obsidian, wrapped in cloth, which seems to be caked in gray dirt and mud. And it will hold out a raw piece of meat and lay it on the ground before the dog and pretend to like pet above its head without touching it, and then basically extend back up in size and then turn and follow after them.
I'm gonna take my meat, but I'm rolling a wisdom check because somebody else did this. And I don't know shit.
Nope. The thing kind of smells almost like grave dirt or such, but also smells not like blood, almost like necrosis and kind of rather foul. It's very thick and heavy, more so than the one you actually met a little bit in the future in the graveyard. This one is just like almost kind of like sludge.
So then, with his mouth full, Seven is going to try to speak in Ascari. Trade for secrets.
It
Or
freezes and its
knowledge.
head turns like an owl 180 degrees. And then its body rotates.
You should probably finish your food before eating.
At which point the thing starts like moving in your direction slowly at like 2 feet at a time till it gets within 5 feet of you guys. It just stands there, oozing.
Sam's just looks at it and says in Namaskari, I see you speak this language.
It
Or at
gives
least
a nod
understand.
as the slime just sort of like drips and puddles out from the eye and mouth hole onto the ground. Bless you.
Bless you.
Do you have things for trade?
It shakes its head up and down again. Little droplets go splashing out and almost hit you.
What do you have? I cannot offer to trade you for something if I do not know what it is you possess. Perhaps coin for knowledge, secrets?
It shakes its head up and down, at which point it reaches underneath its cloak and holds up a piece of parchment, which as it turns over is hairy on the back as like animal hide. And as it holds it up to you, it says all you see before you.
Okay, translation, Michael. The word on the hide says all or all you see before you.
All in big, and then underneath you see before you in Imascari. So in other words,
Ew.
we can trade for anything here. You want that longsword? Sure. You want some information? Sure.
Hmm.
At which point he just puts the wet, sopping, oozy piece of hide back underneath his robes.
Will you be staying here? Because I believe there will be some trade in the near future for you.
At which point, with his left hand, he holds up 6 fingers and then puts the hand back down.
6 hours or 6 days?
Shakes head left to right the first one, and then up and down on the second.
Very well. Are you staying inside or out? She will gesture in deeper or out towards the outside.
Hey, why
It
do
just
we
sort of
always?
stands there, and then it like reaches deep inside, like further than its hand should go inside of itself, and then pulls out a small little arcane marked gemstone as the foul smelling slime like drips off it and it puts it into your hand as it's covered in black sludge.
I will look at said thing and try to figure it out.
Is your hand bare or do you have gauntlets or gloves?
I have gauntlets and gloves. I gotta figure out. Give me a moment. I can tell you which one I have.
As long as it's not bare hands, you're fine.
It
Because
is
bare
not bare
hands,
hands.
it
I have basically something in every item slot.
okay. Because like if it's bare hands, it will actually burn a little bit,
It's
and your
actually
hand will smell for a day.
it's gauntlets.
It kind of stains the gauntlets with the black liquid, but it can be washed and scrubbed off with a little bit of water. And then the creature will just turn and just sort of like almost like slide across the floor in the direction of the individuals at a sort of rapid pace. It basically moves at like 50 feet around. If it double moves, 100 foot.
Oh, he's fast. As Sam just then looks at Seven and speaks in common. How did you figure that out?
I don't know what's going on, but I have named him Bok.
Um,
Bach?
Black Ooze Creep.
When
Uh,
we met the other one like him inside of that rundown place, they smell similar, and he also gave me a treat.
ah, well, as Sam turns to Estella, I believe we already have a name for him.
Aw.
We've met him before, I believe.
Wait, we
Uh,
did?
bollocks. My just
Hmm.
gods.
Out of character, it's
I
not the
have
same one. They don't live long enough for that.
Yeah, but we don't know that.
Yeah.
well, I mean, well, he could be different. We don't know the possibilities, but we can call him Tall, Dark, and Legendy like we usually do.
Correct. It could be him. It could be a different one. His modus operandi is the same, apparently. Although he did not charge me for this, as Sam just kind of shakes the goop off the gem.
Um,
And I'll pull out
the
the monocle
goop of the
Michael
gem.
and try to identify it. I'll try to
It
shake the goop off of the gem.
you hear it kind of scrape it off a little bit as it's kind of like jelly or glue like. Just sort of like have to wipe it off a little bit, just sort of clumps and hits the ground with like a splat.
Ew.
And you hold like a little bluish gem, much like a little sapphire with a little arcane mark on it. Upon examining it with the monocle, it pretty much functions as like a one-time sort of like sending or whisper wind with very short range. So you're able to pretty much communicate to him.
Ah, so we use this to send him a message when we're ready to deal. He'll be here for the next 6 days,
Well,
which means we need to plan because we might be able to get from him what we need to stay and not have any problems with Bloodvein.
credentials?
Possibly. Because he said, when I asked him what he had available, he said all, as far as knowledge and secrets go.
Oh, good. Such a
Yes.
grand event.
Apparently they have a thing for dogs.
That they
Right.
do.
Are you sure it has absolutely, positively nothing to do with our clientele?
I have absolutely no clue or idea. Could be related. I would personally rule in favor that it might be, or it might be an independent faction.
Well, one step at a time.
Though personally, I would rule it was connected, considering we have a token of his that was provided for us by the patron.
She just takes a sip of, not just a sip, a swig of her.
Chug.
Yeah, no, a swig. There's a difference between a swig and a chug.
This is more like a slug. Like a
And
shot.
that's true. But she does take it out of her flask. All right.
Well, things just got more interesting and more complicated. Wonderful, as if they weren't already.
When hasn't this been complicated?
Well, aren't we keeping low profiles, aren't we?
I'd rather have somebody that we could use on our side than be left out in the sun to dry and die.
Yeah, that would have probably happened with
Yeah.
him.
Honestly, if we can get in good with these guys, then if we can use a Fey Gate to get to the capital, that'll cut down on travel time immensely and we'll make up all the time we lost. So I'd rather at least be neutral or faction to them because it is more beneficial to us. And they seem like good people helping those in need, unlike assholes who are trying to just murder people
To make toys.
and enslave them.
Seven's going to crumble underneath his breath. It was for fun.
And Sam just still doesn't know what you did.
Stella doesn't know what was done, but she does raise an eyebrow at that remark.
Considering they come back out with the girl and came back out with a heart, can you imagine it wasn't pleasant.
I don't know.
I don't know what occurred. I don't think I will ever know what occurred. But
I'm kind of fine with
let's
not
not.
knowing.
No. The heart was enough. Also, out of curiosity, do you think that? No, he probably would have. I don't need to ask that.
It's questions you don't want to know the answer to.
Yeah.
Oh god, I was stuck there. She just kind of adjusts her coat collar. I hope that would have never happened.
Well, things are both complicated and not. Either way, we have a chance of getting more information.
Yes.
And some allies for the time being.
Allies possible information is much higher odds. And I think we could do with more information first.
It's not wise to bumble around completely blind.
Which is unfortunately what we've been doing a lot. Because we have no
Yes.
way of gaining the rest of the information. Now we have a chance. So I'd recommend taking this chance and learning what we can.
Mm-hmm. All
Hopefully
in
this
favor?
hopefully it doesn't
Go
cost
I
too much. What about you, Seven? What do you think?
on.
What do you mean? What do I think?
Do you think we should purchase the information from
Blues?
the guy?
Well, he was helpful before. Why couldn't he be helpful now?
Well, that's what I was thinking. But since it requires money, and I'm assuming everybody will be pitching in this time, I'm saying Sam is saying her side all in common. Instead of my having to provide everything, I think it's only fair we ask all involved if they'd be willing to pitch in.
Ash nods.
Meanwhile, there's still supply trade and stuff going on as you guys are in a little side room chit chatting, watching stuff come and go, animals coming in and out. You see a bunch of people sort of like rushing outside to basically deal with the large frog like creatures as they're cleaning them off in the little pond outside with the waterfall. And they seem to refer to them as the bloody fangs, considering the creatures have three mouths full of fangs, and you've learned drink blood, kind of appropriate.
Estella is just looking at them, thinking.
As they look like happy frogs in the little pond.
I wonder if
Just
I
making
tied them to a ship. Could they lift that? Maybe. No, no, no.
That is animal abuse?
Well, I mean, one ship requires
It's
you to
only
bound
animal
an.
abuse if they're actually animals.
They
Exactly.
are animals. They look like frogs.
Well, I would feed them and we would make sure to rest.
As you go outside, you see basically three horses get walked up, and then they basically like swarm them, start tearing them apart, and like licking the blood between the three mouths, like anteaters almost.
See?
Well,
They're cute giant dogs.
And then
they're
they start
more,
making little croaking sounds.
they're
They're more
more
like
of
they're more
frog
like
antlers.
they look like giant dragon frog new.
Wait. What if you get a wyvern? Wyvern? Wyvern.
Oh boy. While you contemplate creatures, I'm going to contemplate on what questions we can ask the guy, as well as figure out what we have that we might be able to trade.
It's more of I don't want to be here and a thinking of what winds up happening with the ship and combining them is distracting me.
I was just trying to think of a.
Sam's going to head back to her room.
Seven shall follow.
And I was just stuck with Estella. Well, let's figure out what we should ask the guy.
And I think
And
this is actually a decent stopping point considering it's midnight.
Yeah, it's midnight.
Yeah.
Well, it's past midnight on my end. Which, I mean,
One-
I'm not sleeping by any means.
One thing Sam will find when she gets back to her room is the table there, which is about 2 feet across, round, is covered in blue flowers.
I am
Oh, God.
sniffing those flowers.
I am intrigued
Alright.
by the flowers and trying to figure out what they are. Nature? I don't think I know.
Make the nature check, and all of a sudden something triggers as you kind of have a flashback and you recall certain flowers and markings on weapons and other memories of people you recognize faces but don't remember names of. The PM triggers now.
oh
Flowers.
no!
Sam has a flashback. Gets some of her memories back.
To
I
be
look closely
continued.
at the flowers. Do they resemble that particular flower?
Yes, and they're not native to this continent whatsoever.
Sam is looking around very confused with a surprised and almost worried look on her face.
Hmm. Now it's a good spot to stop because cliffhangers are fun.